Yeah!
Oh.
It's music time!
Why are we listening to some different music, Craig?
Well,
This music's really amazing.
yeah, it's really good.
God.
It's not a song about a clever boy like me. It's about a stupid girl.
This is absolutely pathetic.
Why?
No,
it's
it's
not
just great.
pathetic. It's great.
We've been listening to it all day. It's been amazing.
Have you really?
Yes, we really
listen,
have.
we listen
love
to
it.
garbage all the time. Yeah.
All the time?
I think Shirley
Yes,
Shirley
Craig.
Manson of garbage.
Yes,
you
Craig
don't have to keep
Ferguson.
it.
Okay.
I think you should talk like that all the time.
Like what?
Hey, how are you doing?
How are you doing?
Where's my trousers? All that kind of stuff would be
That would
fantastic.
be really creepy.
Where's my trousers?
Yeah. We better
I don't-
introduce everybody.
trousers.
Like,
Okay.
welcome everybody. Welcome to the show. It's the time it is in your region, and today it's me, Craig Ferguson, and Malibu Joe Bolter, joined by rock royalty.
Yes,
Rock
absolutely.
royalty. Her
Absolutely.
Majesty, the Queen of Garbage.
You're just saying that because I've got my headset on and I
No.
look really professional, like a professional performer.
No, you know what you look like? You look like a saucy receptionist in a sort of Mad Men thing.
Ooh, I wish I was wearing glasses, actually. You're right. It would really
Yeah, no, it's good.
fix my look.
No, I think your look is fine.
It's good, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm feeling
It's
it.
really
Yeah,
good.
it looked good.
It's good.
Now, Shirley, you are
Yes,
you're,
Craig.
you're the singer in Garbage,
I
but
am.
you're not really. You don't sound American to me.
No, I am 100% Viking Scot.
Viking Scott.
Yes.
Whoa.
Yeah,
what's
do
that?
you know
Is
what
that?
that
No.
means? Ginger.
Yeah, that
Oh,
means, yeah.
really? Viking Scott means ginger.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, ginger, and also very, 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 very aggressive.
Yeah, hardcore.
Oh, yeah? Now I see why you guys are friends.
Yeah, well, I didn't know that you lived so nearby my shed.
I know you should be quite scared because I don't think
Not
you
scared at
understood fully that when you invited me today that I was literally 5 minutes round the corner. Like I live 5 minutes round the corner.
May I say, by the way, every time
I
we...
know where you live.
I know where you live. It works both ways. And also, I can hear you even when you're whispering.
Okay, fair enough.
All right.
Oh, wow.
Call us if you want to talk to Shirley from Garbage. She's Scottish, so she might not understand you, but I can translate.
Are we taking calls?
Yeah, why not?
Oh
You
my
want to? It's
God,
live.
Yeah, that's old school. I love
Yeah,
it.
yeah. Call, and sometimes what we do is because it's
Caller
a drive.
9.
Yeah.
Come in.
Yeah, caller 9, come in. Enjoy yourself. Sit down. Help yourself to a nice
Cup of
potato
tea.
scone. But here's the thing. Because it's drive time in many parts of the country, many of our listeners
Craig Ferguson,
are
I've missed you.
I've missed you. Many of our listeners, our beloved listeners,
Mm-hmm.
are truckers.
Are they really?
Yeah, so we started this thing where we said, give us a call in, tell us what you're hauling.
Oh, that's good.
Very good. And then we
Hi,
decided...
truckers.
Yeah, and that's good. They'll call in if you do that. And if but then we realised a lot of our listeners, because this is the number 2 radio show in America,
I do know that.
right? We are the number 2.
Yes, we
2
are.
hours and number 2.
A big jobby.
A big jobby.
Oh, there we go.
is a Scottish word for number 2.
Jobby? Is
Yeah,
it
jobby.
Jobby.
You know,
Jobby.
it's actually a really horrible word. It's kind
It's
of
horrid.
it's kind of it's a cross between turd and shit.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool that you have a word to combine
Yeah,
both those
it combines
words.
both of
But
those.
you usually have to use the word with the word big before jobby. So it's always like a big jobby.
Big job.
That's if you're describing someone who you think is jobby-like, but a kid, like little kids would say, "Mom, I need a jobby."
Or I've
And then,
just done a jobby.
I did a jobby in my pants.
but it works both ways. It's the actual thing, and you call someone that if you,
Yeah, like
you don't like them.
like shit, like you're a
Yeah,
shit,
you're a
or
shit.
or I
Big jobby.
or
Big
mom,
jobby.
or
Yeah.
I shit myself.
Yeah.
It's a literal translation.
Have you
Okay,
seen
I
the little
gotcha.
video on the internet, though, of the mum who comes in and she goes, "Who left the big jobby in the toilet?"
Oh, dear.
and didn't flush. Have you not seen that?
I have not.
Oh, you have to look it up. It's amazing.
I feel I do have
You
to
will,
look it up.
you will pee your pants.
No,
It's
but-
amazing.
Wait, this is just Scottish jobby
Yeah,
video?
Scottish jobby
Yeah.
video. Google
Who
it, Joe. We'll
left
see
the
if we
big
can come up.
jobby in the
Anyway,
toilet?
here's
Sorry.
the thing. So many of the people that call in are not truckers. But they're just people who are driving, or not even driving. They're just people who are listening. But because we started, give us a call in, tell us what you're hauling. Now we realise people sometimes aren't hauling goods across America.
What are they doing?
They can be hauling shyness, a difficult childhood, maybe a little extra weight that they can't get rid of. And if you're hauling that, give us a call in, tell us what you're hauling.
We're your people.
Yeah. Give us a call in, because Shirley Manson is here. I like the name Shirley Manson because it sounds a little bit friendly and then Manson at the end. So it's like I'm friendly and then I'm very unfriendly indeed.
That's right.
Yeah, that's kind of
Keeps the weak people away.
You know what? I've never encountered any unfriendliness from you whatsoever.
No, that's because I love you.
Yeah,
No, but I am sweet and nice, and I've got really good manners. I was brought up really well.
It's because you're from Edinburgh.
Yeah.
Stockbridge, though, so you're sort of Edinburgh, but sort of cool.
Easy now,
What?
easy now.
What? No, Stockbridge
Don't
is
mess
cool,
with
Edinburgh.
me, Craig. Don't ruin a beautiful thing. that
I'm
we
not
have
messing
Wow,
with
see,
you.
that's
See,
to
this
get.
is what Edinburgh people do to
Went
Glasgow
from Shirley
people.
to Manson,
Oh,
just like
yeah.
that.
Oh, you're taking it down there. You're taking
I
it
am
really
not
low.
taking it
No,
down
you've
there.
gone really low so fast. That's really disappointing.
I have not gone low.
No, explain this to me, because
What?
this is a thing, right? This is Biggie and Tupac, right?
Yeah.
What you
A
guys
little
got
bit,
going?
yeah.
I'm
little-
Tupac.
Why do you have to be Tupac?
Because
Why
I
can't
want to be Tupac.
Why do you have to get
That's just
Tupac?
because you started it.
Well, Biggie was good too. You
Yeah.
know, more money, more problems, Shirley, right?
True, but I love Tupac.
Yeah, I love
I am
Tupac.
Tupac in this relationship.
All right,
Just
okay,
you get
so I'm.
used to it.
All right, then I'm Biggie.
Yeah, Biggie is also a Scottish word, actually, funnily enough, for a jobby.
Yes, yet another word.
So it's
for,
very fitting.
Yeah.
How many nicknames do you have?
A lot.
Well, it's like the Eskimos have a lot of words for,
For snow.
Yeah, yeah.
Scottish people have a lot
That's
of words.
Scottish snow?
Yeah.
It's true, we really do.
We have a lot of words
I
for
like
poop.
Tolly.
Jobby, Tolly,
Yeah.
turd,
Shite.
shite, Humpty.
Humpty, I've never heard
Oh,
of
yeah.
Humpty. He's making things up now.
But I'll believe
You
it.
are, you're showing
No,
off.
I'm not.
You're just trying to look more knowledgeable than Tupac, and I'm not having it.
No, a Humpty Dump.
Oh, yeah, you're
Dump.
right, you're right.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
take it back,
Humpty
take it
Dump. I have to take a Humpty Dump and
Yeah.
shorten to Humpty. Do you know the best? This is not Scottish. It's actually Cockney rhyming slang, but
Yes,
it's one of the
that's right.
best rhyming slangs I ever heard. Was what girls call their time of the month, the Cockney girls.
Mm-hmm.
They call it their George.
They're George.
George Michael, menstrual cycle.
Oh, God.
Is that awesome?
Yeah, that's
Wow.
pretty good.
Yeah.
That's cool. It
I
went
like
right
that.
over my head, though.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
not-
I didn't get it
I'm
at all.
too
I had
dumb
to
for
say,
that.
you have to explain. I'm on me, George.
Then people really use that in parts of England.
Yeah, well, maybe one girl used it once.
Once.
No, look, give us a call and tell us what you're on. The number is 1-800-MATTRESS. Is that right,
That's
Joe?
pretty close.
Yeah.
We're 844-547-3287.
That's what I meant. Yeah. And if you're, people are calling in. Tell us what they're hauling. Susan from Michigan called in. She's a massive Shirley fan. She's hauling love for you, Shirley.
Ooh, I love
Yeah,
it.
I think she should talk to you. Susan, you're through to Shirley.
Hi, Susan. Susan,
Hi,
come in.
Shirley. Oh my God, I'm a massive fan, darling.
A woman with extreme taste.
You are the queen.
Thank you.
I'm a rock singer, been a singer for cover bands for 20 plus years.
Whoa.
And my God, when the first album came out, I was just blown away, and even then more blown away by version 2.0. And Stupid Girl was my theme for a while. And
Why?
Why?
I
Why?
was a Stupid Girl at the time. At the
Yeah.
time,
Me too.
it was good.
Me
Very
too, me
Stupid
too.
Girl. Going
No
bad
shame here.
breakup. You know how
Did
it
you
is.
write? You wrote "Stupid Girl," didn't you?
No, I didn't, actually.
Didn't you?
No. That's not one of mine.
Oh no!
aye.
I'm going to go all Scottish on
Yeah.
you. Oh, because that's my favourite. I'm going to pick the one that you didn't
Oh,
write.
I don't care, though. I
That's
feel like
the
all
best
this-
one.
All my songs are my children. That's how I see it.
There you go. That's how you sing it properly.
Yes.
All right. People are calling in to tell us what they're hauling, but they're being coy about it.
Yeah, they don't like to tell
You know,
Dan.
I
what
don't know.
they're calling.
Skipper from Iowa says, I want to tell you what I'm hauling.
All right. Well, you can talk to Skipper from
No,
Iowa.
you talk to him.
All right. So you scared?
Yeah, Shirley was scared.
I'm not 100% sure I want to hear it.
All right, Skipper, give us a call in and tell us what you're hauling. Skipper, you there, buddy? You there? 10-4. I say, come on.
I am here. How are you, Craig?
Yeah, I'm good, Skipper. Where are you and what you hauling?
I am in Iowa, Des Moines, Iowa, to be exact, and I'm hauling
I know it.
44,000 pounds of batteries.
Whoa.
44,000 pounds of batteries.
Like AAA, AA, or all of them.
Assorted batteries, Skipper?
Car batteries.
Car batteries? That's the very thing I use in my sex games.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Car battery to nipple, or what's
Yeah,
your
absolutely.
technique?
Every time.
Yeah,
Oh, you
good
like
for you.
that?
Oh, I do.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, no, I love them.
I
Well,
wish
thanks,
you'd told
Skipper.
me.
Yeah, no.
We could have wired
I
you
just-
up right now.
That's why I was giving you hints, showing you off my new Tesla.
That's right.
Yeah.
I test drive this Tesla. It's up. That's the one that you thought I'd got it to impress you.
I did. I was not
my
was
car.
hoping
It's
you
not
were
my-
going to have got it.
Do you want to go for a
impress
ride
me.
in my Tesla? In my completely silent car?
I know they really are. They're deathly. You better watch out.
Oh.
Well, I tried the other one. I tried the sporty one, the Model S. It was too fast. I said, no, it's too fast.
Oh,
I'll
you
kill
don't trust
myself in
yourself
this.
with it.
Well, not in LA.
No.
Well, you
yeah.
can't really open up in LA either. There's no room.
Or even emotionally.
But or
Oh,
particularly
God.
emotional.
No,
But
you
can get
can't.
emotional here, Craig. It's
No,
time.
this is a safe
You can
place.
lay down your weapons. This is a safe place.
You have been to therapy. You have been to
Of course I have.
Yeah, you have. I know you have too, because you're Scottish, but we're friends.
I know exactly.
Because Scottish people who haven't been to therapy are like, there can be only one.
One,
Yeah,
yeah.
but Scottish people who have been to therapy are like, nah, there can be more.
A lot of therapy in Scotland, or are you coming to America
actually.
to get it?
No, you know what? I tell you the truth. Scotland's. We were just talking about this before the show. Scotland is almost unrecognisable to what it was when I lived there. It is fantastic now.
Well, I mean, I've been back, and I
It's
thought it was
amazing.
great, but I didn't know if it was just because I'm
I
American.
probably was fantastic then, and I was just an asshole. But I'm not sure.
I think we can say that is the case.
Right.
Sorry, Craig, but,
No,
I call a spade a spade. I call it as I see it.
Well, that would not be.
Maybe you're just a little angry asshole, just like I was.
I was a bit angry.
And that's your job as a young
Well,
thing.
Yes, I know.
A young, cute little
I
friend.
remember seeing you singing. Didn't you do backing vocals with Goodbye, Mr.
I did.
Mackenzie, though?
Yeah, I did.
Because you weren't the singer
No,
right
I was
away.
the backing vocalist
Yeah.
and keyboard player of
That's
all
right.
things.
And we used to we thought you were Linda McCartney, but you weren't Linda McCartney.
No, but I was Linda McCartney.
Were
I
you?
really kind of was.
Really?
Yeah.
Were you going out with
I
somebody
had
in the
no.
band? And
Yeah,
stuff?
I was dating the lead singer for a while, but
Right.
then he dated everybody in town, and I just gave up the ghost. But the fact
Dated
is,
is an American word for the Scottish word shag.
Yes.
By the way.
Oh, okay.
He
But you-
shagged everybody in town.
got
Was
you.
shagging
Shagging
the
everyone.
lead singer.
That's
It's
not.
a-
It
yeah.
wasn't a great situation.
it
is
wasn't
what
a great
you're saying.
situation. But I've recovered. I've left it behind me now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had no desire to be in the front of the spotlight. You're laughing at me, but it's true. I had no ambitions to be at the front. I was put at the front.
I think it was inevitable that you were going to be. At
Well,
the front
everybody
of a
says
band.
that, but I'm telling you right now, I didn't harbour any desire to be at the front.
Do you know what it's like? It's like the gay guy that doesn't know he's gay when
Yes,
he's a teenager.
That's exactly
Yeah,
what
it was like you were like, no, I'm not. You're like, yes, you are.
Yeah.
Just it's cool. Everybody's fine with it. It's all right.
Yeah,
You're like,
like-
no, I stand at the back and play the keyboard.
It's so
no, you don't.
perfect.
Get out the front. Get out the
No,
front.
you're right. That is me. I was in complete denial until maybe about 7 years ago.
What happened 7 years ago then?
I thought,
Therapy, eh?
God, I feel like I heard a spooky sound there. All of a
You know
sudden.
what? It's this room is haunted.
I felt like God was talking to me.
Well, no, it's not haunted by God. I think it's haunted by a nasty stable person that used to live. This is a very old house, especially for LA. This used to be the stables. This part of it.
I'm serious. Can you hear that?
Yeah.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
really
you hear it.
weird.
It's
Jeff even's beginning to twitch. In
Yeah,
the corner
Jeff
over
is
there.
turned off for the. When I come in here on my own, sometimes it spooks me and I have to get out.
Are you being serious?
I'm not kidding.
Okay,
you.
you're freaking me out now.
No, it is a bit haunted in here. But you're okay. You're
Okay.
with us, and
I'm with
we'll
friends.
Yeah, we're fine.
nothing bad will
We're
happen.
friends.
to you.
Okay,
And
good.
also, I don't think there's a malevolent presence.
No,
in
it didn't
here.
feel 2 minutes.
It's just a little bit kind of.
malevolent.
And people have tweeted us. And
Congratulations! I'm happy for you, darling.
Shirley,
Oh,
let me finish. Oh, you're so.
They still love you.
So clever.
They still
You're
love
so
you.
clever. People have tweeted us. People have tweeted us and said, we heard kind of like.
Oh yeah, they
Yeah.
play the show backwards.
Yeah,
and
and
there's
all that, and they
stuff
could hear like
happening.
ghostly messages and stuff like that. and
Where's my
sometimes,
cake?
yeah, there is cake. Do you want some cake?
No, I don't want any
There is cake. It's vegan.
No, I'm not vegan.
I'm vegan.
Oh,
Man, that
God.
cake, I didn't even
You've
think
been
about
here
that.
too
The cake
long.
was vegan?
Yeah,
That
it's
was
vegan.
amazing.
Yeah.
Right, hold on. So let's talk about vegan for a minute. Can
Okay.
we please just clarify something for me?
Right, fine.
Vegan.
Right.
No animal products.
Well, yeah, no animal proteins.
But
no.
do you do gluten?
Yeah, I do gluten. I like bread.
So gluten isn't a vegan issue.
I don't think so, no.
See, nobody knows for sure. I can see that you're not 100%
Well,
sure.
No, here's my thing. It's not really. I don't break it down to a protein level. I know that some people do, but here's what I do. I don't want to rob any creature of a
Oh, I know. I'm
day
like
in
that too.
sunlight so that I can have a
For your
snack.
greedy guts.
Right. And then anything that squirts out of animals, no matter how you turn it into something else, I don't want it. I don't want it.
I'm not surprised. I'm not
So-
asking you to consume it.
But actually,
Relax.
I don't call myself a vegan, really, to be honest.
What do you call yourself?
I call myself a vegetarian who doesn't eat dairy.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, and then I don't get...
I commend that, actually. I can
Yeah, I
understand
don't want to
that.
get hooked up
No,
in that
please don't
gang.
get too early.
Well, it's too late.
Just some green lettuce leaves, please, and
Well,
a glass of water.
Here's the thing, though. Lettuce is a living thing. You know, it's when they say no living thing.
Okay, time out.
No, I'm not saying I'm anti-lettuce. What I'm saying
Okay,
is...
you've gone cuckoo now.
No, listen to me. Let me finish, Shirley. This has always been the problem in our relationship. You never let me finish. You always finish first.
No, that's
and then
right.
I just
Damn
have
straight
to
I do.
angrily finish myself on my own. But here's the thing. You see what we did there?
Yeah.
Yeah, we saw it. We caught up.
It's a
Actually,
Scottish
you know
thing.
that's Scottish people flirting.
Yeah, no, this is amazing to watch. I feel like I'm watching the Discovery Channel of two Scottish people. You know.
It's kind of like a natural history program.
No, but what
Yeah.
you're actually seeing is arm wrestling.
Oh,
Yeah, that's
really?
true. Actually, a little
You're
bit
seeing
of
an
that.
arm wrestle between Glasgow and Edinburgh.
Little
Yeah.
bit. But not really. It's a good natured
Completely.
one. Yeah, no, it's a good natured
But it seems like you guys kind of had similar like childlike personas, but in the opposite cities, right? You were both kind of rebellious young kids.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, I think that's
Childlike
probably...
persona.
Is that-
No, I've always had a very adult one.
I don't think he meant childlike. I think he meant our personalities in childhood. See, what happens is people from Edinburgh will pick apart everything you
Yeah,
say.
we will.
And they won't let you finish.
Just for sport.
Yeah. See, though, here's the thing. I was saying something.
Lettuce.
Oh,
We're
yes,
saying
lettuce.
lettuce is a living thing.
No. When people say, I don't eat any living things, they go, well, yes, you do. Plants are living things. It's just,
true.
so everybody, you just draw a line at
Sure.
how sentient the being is you're going to eat.
Yeah.
For example, people are like, no, I don't do yeast. I'm like, yeah, no, I'll do yeast. Yeast is fine.
Living dangerously.
Yeah, I will eat yeast no matter what
You're
is going.
crazy.
Yeah, you're right. You want to come over here? Right.
But have you heard that thing about trees? Like if there's a tree in a forest and it's ailing, all the other trees in the forest will push out proteins and stuff to the ailing tree to save it. When I heard that, I started crying. I just couldn't handle
That's
it.
fantastic.
It is a beautiful story. I heard that on a podcast too, and I got emotional.
Yeah.
And if
it
it's
was-
on a podcast, that means it's true.
Well,
That's-
good
yeah.
point.
Yeah. People are calling in, telling what they're hauling. Clay in Georgia's hauling tractor parts. Be careful out there, Clay. Andrew in Wyoming.
It's hauling mashed potatoes.
Yes, he is.
Oh my God.
Now, what I'm thinking about, if he's hauling the mashed potatoes, maybe we should talk to him.
Yes, I think you should. Come on.
Andrew in Wyoming. Can you hear us, Andrew?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey,
Wow.
sorry for
Sorry to
interrupting
bother you. Sorry to bother you, Andrew.
How come the potatoes are mashed?
Because they're going to a Bob Evans restaurant. They're going to be
All right. Well, good luck with them. Be careful out there. I kind of get the feeling that we were annoying Andrew.
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
I feel like he was really bummed out that we bothered him and
Well,
interrupted
I
his day.
sometimes wonder if they're calling us or if we called them.
Yeah, he seemed
good
very
recall,
upset.
man.
He seemed very
He
upset.
seemed a little
First of all,
annoyed.
he's just trying to do his job, Craig.
Yes,
he's trying
he
to
is.
deliver his mashed potatoes, and you're trying to
leave
talk
him
to
alone.
him.
All right, I'm sorry,
Leave him
but
in
just be
peace.
careful.
But I think John from California definitely wants to speak to us.
He's
because
calling exotic pleasure
He's saying
toys?
something sort of provocative.
Well, all right, John in California. How you doing there, John?
Hey, Craig. Glad to have you back on the airwaves, man.
Thank you, John. It's very nice to be back in the airways. I am the biggie of this particular setup
And
today.
I, Shirley Manson, I'm Tupac.
Shirley is Tupac, and
Yeah,
and
I'm all right.
you're Puff Daddy today.
Oh, I'm P. Diddy?
yeah,
I'll take it. Thank you.
you're Puff Diddley. All right, so what are you hauling there, John?
Well, it was funny. Last week, I got a load from Los Angeles, taking it all the way to Miami, and I got pulled into the DOT scales in Florida for them to check my paperwork, and I've got like an inch thick of different types of product, so I don't even bother looking anymore. But he's flipping through, and a serious face, he looks up at me, the DOT officer, and he goes, "Do you know what you're hauling?" And my heart dropped. I thought, oh, my God, what did they put in my truck? He said,
Cocaine.
You're hauling exotic pleasure toys. And I went, oh, my God.
What is an exotic pleasure toy? Is that, I mean, I figured a pleasure toy is like you're straight up,
Good question.
Yeah, but what's exotic about it? Thanks, I'm a professional, Shirley. For heaven's sake.
Yeah. So I called it my 2017 pleasure tour.
Oh, well, You be careful on that tour and keep your hauling your things.
Yeah.
Right now, so that was nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
He took us through a journey. It wasn't just a simple
It
story of
was
what you're hauling.
somewhere I didn't expect to be.
And he told us what he was hauling. Jerry from Pennsylvania is hauling Domino's Pizzas. Steve in Ohio is hauling soybean oil. A lot of garbage fans are hauling resentment that I'm not actually talking to you.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Okay, what?
Because I noticed yesterday, because I've started stalking you seriously
All
on
right.
Instagram.
Okay.
I noticed you talked to an Egyptologist yesterday.
Oh, Cara, yeah, you'd love her.
Now, hold on.
Yes?
An Egyptologist.
Yes.
Tell me exactly what that job is.
Well, it's the study of...
Let me guess.
Yes.
Egypt?
Well, that's close. But... No. It is the study of ancient Egypt, the civilization, pretty much
Wow.
the pharaohs from the very, the beginning until Cleopatra, really. But Cleopatra wasn't
Incredible.
really Egyptian. She was kind of something else. Macedonian or something. But she's from Ptolemy. She was one of the Ptolemy family. I think they were Macedonian. Anyway, the thing is, but she's really a social historian.
Wow, incredible.
She's a fascinating woman and very, very good at what she does. And you'd like her. Next time you come,
I would like to be in on that.
you should come and talk to Cara. She's
We're
very
already talking to Cara about coming back soon. So,
Ooh.
yeah.
So, and Shirley, you've just admitted
I'm just
that
down
you
the road. Just give me a call when
drop
she
in
comes
any
in.
time. Or we could have Scotland/Ancient Egypt night.
Oh, yeah. You're a Scottish-tologist.
Scotologist.
It sounds a little bit like proctologist. I think.
Jobtologist.
Joctologist. See, in Scotland,
Joctologist.
in the UK, the nickname for Scottish people is jocks.
Jock.
Oh, like jocks, like we would call someone who's
A sporty person. Yeah. See, I used to think when they would say, "Oh, there's jocks around," I'd be like, "Oh, I'll go and say hello." But
and they are not your people.
They are not. No.
Sporty
So we're
people.
not his people.
Now listen, we're going.
No,
to
you listen.
No, you listen, Shirley. Shirley, I'm a professional. I'm
Sorry,
a professional.
fair enough, that is true, you are.
I am a professional. Sort of. I kind of gave it up, I suppose, really. I just do it in my
Did for
house
a wee
now.
bit.
Yeah, well, I went out. Well, you did it too. You
Did
do
you
that
go
all the
dark?
time.
I do it all the time, but did you go dark?
What, you mean depressed?
No, just like, why did you leave us?
I had to. Well, here's the truth. Very quickly, here's the actual truth of what happened.
Because I know people want to know.
Right. Oh, well, I've already told them 100 times, but I'll tell you again, just very quickly. Here's what it is. I got this job in late night because CBS made a deal with David Letterman in the early 90s, which meant that he owned the real estate between 11:30 and 1:30 in the morning. So he did a show for an hour, and then he could put on whatever he wanted between 12:30 and 1:30.
And he chose you.
Well, yeah, Dave didn't really care. But what they did was that his company and CBS kind of said, okay, that guy will do, right? But the minute Dave retires, all that real estate goes away. And then I'd have been working for CBS, being, happy, making little video things for the internet. And I was like, fuck that noise, I'm out.
Right, fair
And that was it.
So what did you do? What did you do?
Well, I grew a beard. I went to Scotland, grew a beard, and got fat.
Did you really go to Scotland?
Yeah, I went to Scotland, grew a beard,
For
got
how long?
fat. About 6 months.
That's probably really good for you.
Yeah, no, it was great. The getting back from the fat, though, because I'm
It's
still
really hard.
Oh man,
Oh, my
I
God.
used to be able to go fat and then just bounce right back. Now I go fat, I stay fat.
Yeah, it's really quite depressing.
Well, you look fine. You look
No,
exactly
but
the
when
same.
I got off tour at Christmas time, my sister went, ooh, when she saw me at Christmas, family Christmas, she went, ooh.
That's
and I went,
just
what?
Scottish.
No, because my sister is like my best friend. She would never do anything to hurt me, but even she was like, ooh, you might need to think about, now that you're older, just cutting out a few things. Because it's true, I did anything I wanted. I drank anything I wanted. I ate anything I wanted.
Right.
I have not drunk now since January 10th.
Whoa. How are you doing
Congrats.
with
I'm
that?
doing surprisingly very well.
Is that a thing for you?
No,
Alcohol?
it wasn't a thing for me at
No, I
all, but
never-
I had thought it might be because I'd never ever tested myself.
Right.
And I realised after being on tour for 9 months or whatever long it was that I was drinking every single day. And I was
Yeah.
like, that is not right. I must be an alcoholic.
Well, there's more to it than that.
Of course there's more to it than that, but
Yeah.
you don't know it until you try and give it up.
Well, pretty much that's true. I don't know if I would have noticed if I was an alcoholic until I went to London, to be honest. Because in Glasgow, I was just like,
Yeah.
well,
it's a
bevy
different
merchant.
Yeah,
they
it's
would
it's
call
a
it.
different culture. People drink a lot more in our country than they do here.
They don't even do that so much anymore.
No, they don't.
think.
I mean, things have changed, but that's the environment in which I grew up.
Yeah, me too.
We just always drank. It's like you couldn't go outside because Baltic,
Yeah, it was very cold.
so we drank.
Yeah, we stayed in and got drunk.
But anyway, I lost weight by not drinking, and it's been so much.
Grief, what were you drinking? Alcohol smoothies? It's like,
Protein.
give me one of those whiskey and ham.
No,
Give me
I
a
was
whiskey and ham.
I was on a beer kick for
Oh,
some inexplicable reason.
Oh, I love
It
beer.
was so, and I got a beer belly. It's so horrible.
Oh, that's adorable.
It wasn't adorable. I looked like the Grinch. It was a very unbecoming look.
I love the idea of, oh God, I wish I'd seen that too, especially towards the end. I would have pointed and mocked. Your tummy's getting bigger. Who's the biggie now? But listen, but you take time off of when you're working.
I think you need to actually. I think and I'm being absolutely serious here.
Sure.
I think doing, particularly in the entertainment industry, or being an artist or whatever, any of us, if we are able to, and I know it's a luxury, but I think it's really good if you take a wee break and sort of have a normal life. You have to have a normal life. I'm sure you were not living a normal life when you were doing the Late Show every night.
It was actually horrible. And what happens is that the unacceptable becomes acceptable, and the abnormal becomes normal, and you think that, you know, the emotional temperature of the 120 odd people who work on the show is dependent on your mood every day. That's not a good place to be. And the only friend I have left is Joe, the front half of the horse.
That is beautiful. Guys, it's a beautiful story.
I don't even have to wear the costume anymore.
I know you don't. That's so nice.
Well, he doesn't have to, because, you know, he's pretty hairy.
I never
Very
really
hairy
had to,
gentleman.
yeah.
But it's good to do different things in your life, I think, and just remember what it's like to live a good, solid, normal life. I think you become funnier, you're more entertaining.
Yeah, you have to be part of the human race
Yes,
again.
it's important. It's that. I mean, your life otherwise is based on hot air, ultimately.
Is that what happens if you're a rock star, and I won't hear any other word to describe you?
No, I am a proper rock star.
You are a
I play
proper
rock music.
Right, and you're very successful at it. Therefore, you're a rock star. Does that become very difficult to deal with emotion? Like if you're on a tour, which is a very rarefied way to live. You know, it's a bus, it's backstage, it's kind of a party every night.
Every
right?
night, yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of weird. What becomes what's the counterweight to that when you get back home? What do you do to be normal?
Well, I'm really normal now.
Right.
But at the very, very height of our success in the 90s, I was not normal, and I was actually pretty miserable. Because, when you're going to parties every night sounds like fun. You know this. You guys know this more than I probably do. But it sounds like fun, but then when you're forced to do it every single night, it gets really tedious.
Yeah, it's awful.
And you lose touch with culture. That's what makes me saddest about when I'm busiest. I don't know what's on the radio. I don't know what's on the TV. I don't know what the jokes are that people are enjoying.
Right.
I don't know what the memes are, the gifts are. I miss everything. And it's not a good way to live, I don't think.
It's the Craig Ferguson Show on Sirius XM. Comedy Greats.
All right, yes, Shirley,
So the
you had a question?
CasperBloodyMattress.com, whatever it is.
Casper, yeah.
Casper
Yes.
mattress pops. So it's one of these small, tiny things that you open up and it expands into a massive mattress.
Well,
correct?
no, it's just when they ship it, it's small. So people don't, your neighbours don't go, oh.
But it's shrunk
see, they're
down to
getting
a
new
handle
mattress.
size.
Right, it's shrunk down to the size of probably.
My pal just bought one of them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and he loves it.
Yeah.
Did he use
Just
promo
saying.
code Craig?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm going to check when I get home.
He would have got $50 off.
Yeah.
That's a deal, man.
Yeah. Does anyone ever say to you from Scotland, you've lost your accent?
Very occasionally, yes.
I get it all the time.
Yeah, it's funny because to me you sound like you've still got your accent, which I think is
it
admirable.
changes when I'm talking to you.
Why do you normally talk like this?
I talk normally like, hey, how you doing,
Hey,
everybody?
I'm
Welcome.
great.
It's
How are
Drive
you?
Time with Craig.
Yeah.
We're looking at then things, or what do we do? The weather?
Yeah, the weather's
Awesome.
Yeah, the weather is.
That's hot.
Yeah, it's spectacular. No, be
Yeah.
careful out there, everybody. Stay a good stopping distance.
Sig alert on the phone.
So-
Sig alert on the
So
phone.
does his accent come out when I come in? Does he sound more Scottish to you right now?
yeah, I
Yeah,
think
for
it
sure.
does.
I think you
yeah.
should ask one of your haulers what they think.
Well, they
Are
would all
you more
say it.
Scottish now that I'm in the room, or less Scottish?
I think it's like when a French person talks to a French person, they talk the same language. And when I'm here, I talk in a way to. My job is to be understood, and so I think I soften the accent. It's not. I don't do it on purpose.
No, I know what you
But
mean.
I think over time that has happened.
Yeah.
And now I just do it naturally, and it's almost like switching between languages. But Scottish people sometimes get mad at it, like it's in some way a betrayal.
Yeah, well, I
which
think
don't
they think it's
understand.
I think they think it's a denial of our heritage, which of course it's not. I mean, you
No.
stuck them in LA for 20 years; they'd
Yeah.
be exactly the same.
Yeah, I think also it's interesting because rock singers sing for the most part in American-sounding voices.
That's true.
You know, I mean, and it's a different argument though, because it's the sound of the music and the voice and the thing is all part. Like
And
opera singers singing German, so what? You know,
Yeah.
I mean, but it is a weird, odd thing. I think.
Well, Scottish though really sticks out, I think, and so when you're singing, you try and not make the syllables stick out because it sounds weird. So when you're and you learn to sing by listening to
American artists, yeah.
Back then we did.
Right,
I think
and-
it's different now.
Yeah, I think it is. I mean, we were talking about this. There's like when I hear rappers in French or even English rappers who like the Cockney accent, stuff like that. It's kind of great.
Yeah, it's great, but it sounded so weird when you first heard it.
Yeah,
And
at
now
first it's
it
strange.
sounds really
I haven't
cool.
heard a Scottish rapper. Is there such a thing? Have you heard anyone?
I feel like I have heard a Scottish rapper, and I can't remember the name of him, but I feel like I have, and he's actually pretty good. But the name of
You'd
him
have to be.
escapes me.
You would have to be good because people would be very tough if you weren't.
Yeah.
I think it would be. There'd be a lot of Shrek accusations going around.
Well, there's that horrible risk you run,
yeah.
isn't there?
Oh, wee farty donkey. I know that'd be bad. So, but do you go back a lot? I asked you that. You
You did ask me that, but I do go back as much as I can, but it's getting more and more expensive to go back. And-
Norwegian Airlines.
Are you being serious?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's a new Norwegian Airlines are doing this new thing. The flight to Gatwick from LA, it's much cheaper.
Fantastic, because
Yeah.
I want to avoid Heathrow wherever I can.
Yeah, Heathrow is a nightmare.
Yeah, but I like going back, but I haven't been back a lot over the last couple of years because I'm making a record and being on tour and it's expensive. So
It is. Yeah,
I get back every year.
every year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I go back. This is the longest I haven't been back in a long time. It's approaching 10 months.
Oh yeah, see that's too long. I'd need to go back.
Yeah, that's way too long for me. I'm feeling very antsy about the whole affair.
Yeah, I think you begin to have a feeling of you just need to get back to touch. I had a teacher I had once said it's like touching your dirt. It's like just getting back into the mud and remembering what
Touching your dirt.
touching your dirt.
Hold on a second. We realise I'm still me. You can't say phrases like touching your dirt.
Why can't I?
Because I'm going to stop you and make some kind of double entendre.
Maybe I wanted you to make a double entendre.
You are a professional. You are a professional.
Oh.
How very, very interesting. So
But-
what are you doing now then? Are you making a record or are you...
I am not making a record.
Are you writing songs?
Yes, we're writing and sort of in the middle of trying to get a track out because we're about to go out on tour with Blondie, a co-headline in the summer.
Oh, yeah, I heard about this. This will be good. I'm
yeah, I
interested.
think that will be good,
It'll
actually.
be big places though, right?
They're not too big, but they're big enough.
Yeah.
Oof. Well, that's what she
yeah.
said. But, I mean, Debbie Harry is like a big influence on me in a way,
Sure.
and I still find her really inspiring that she's, nearly 70 and she's still out there working and still enthusiastic and still...
Are
I don't
Blondie
know.
still the same band? Is it still like
Not
Chris-
quite.
No?
Not quite. But Chris Stein is still in the band and, they still
Clem
have...
Burke.
Clem
was
Burke
al-
is still in the band.
He's still in the band?
Yeah,
I
Clem's still
loved
there.
him as a drummer when
He's
I
a
was...
great drummer. And
I know.
a really good guy.
Is he really?
He's a really good guy.
I when I was drumming when I was like that's a million years ago.
But I remember it.
Aye. Capaldi became Doctor Who. Do you
I know,
believe that?
unbelievable.
I
Super
know.
cool.
It is. I called him up when he got it. He's like, "Do you believe this? It's so mad. I can't
so
believe I'm doing it."
mad.
And then I made some comment about him and I dropping acid when I was on American telly, and the British press went crazy with it. Oh, because they're so naughty. And they went bad about Doctor Who taking acid with failed nightclub comedian Craig
God.
Ferguson, and then, so I felt awful, so I called
As you
Peter.
should.
Yeah, so I called Peter. I said, "I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to do that." He went, "Oh no, it's much better than what they normally say. I'm just some kind of train spotting anorak wearer."
So it made him excited.
Yeah, he
type
said it
thing.
made me sound much more interesting
Good
than
for
I
him.
am. So he was very nice about it, but I felt terrible because you don't think.
Well,
that-
that's the horrible byproduct of being well known.
Have you ever been done like that in the British press?
I've been done a few times, and I have done on some others by default.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Well, just by accident,
Yeah,
you've
just by
mentioned
accident.
something. I know,
Yeah.
it's bad.
It's terrible.
So, Joe, don't ever say anything naughty about Shirley
Anyone.
round the British.
Don't you
Oh,
dare.
I
Right.
wouldn't. Only
And
great.
I know where you live.
We're going to the Edinburgh Festival this year.
You
but
were
it-
saying that. That's
yeah,
so cool.
it hasn't been announced yet, so we
Yeah.
can't talk about
Yeah,
it.
we shan't.
Right.
I shan't tell a soul.
Right, so
Sure.
we're not talking about it.
No
but
one
it's
knows.
gonna
How
be
long are you
announced.
going to be there for?
2 weeks.
God, that's great.
Why don't you come?
I would love to come.
Come on
If
over.
I'm around, I would come.
Come
Oh,
on
yeah,
over.
please do.
We're doing the. Now we can't talk about it because
No,
it's not
no,
been
no.
announced. But it's the Rose Street Theatre. There's some old church in Rose Street. It's now a theatre.
Yeah,
And,
it's like a big thing. I
great
think they're like
part-time.
relaunching this theater.
And
stuff
what
for
could
this.
be better for a recovering alcoholic to be in Rose Street?
I know, the pub street of Edinburgh.
The pub street of Earth. You know, it's like I was trying to explain to these guys. There is a ground zero of alcoholism, and
Rose
it is
Street is
Rose
it.
Street. Is it?
Wow,
It's
and
like
that's our audience. That's going to be our audience.
that's going to be our
Yeah.
audience. It'll be because of the time difference. It'll be a live show. So this time of day is 11 o'clock to 1 o'clock in the morning on Rose Street,
right.
and we're going to do a live show with 300 people in the audience.
That's Gallus.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
yeah. It'll be pretty fun.
Yeah.
Well, I'm saying 300 people in the audience. Perhaps they won't come, but I think they will because we're going to have.
But you used to perform on the Edinburgh
That's
Festival.
where I started.
Yeah.
I started.
I
there in-
saw you in the Edinburgh Festival.
Did you really?
thing.
Well, the big Hitler times? Or
Uh-huh.
Oh, that was the days.
Yes.
Yeah, that was. What was it any good? I was really drunk. I can't tell.
It's a
you.
long time ago now, but yeah, clearly we loved it. I mean,
Yeah, it's people still talk about it. Like
Yeah.
I wish I could remember.
well,
it
you
better.
you made a mark, I guess, at that time. There
Little
weren't that people who. You were one very unique character.
There was no one else. There can be only one. So let's talk about your career as a musician.
Oh yeah, let's get back to me.
Nah, I want to do you did that Scottish thing, which I've done a lot, which is you get the other person talking about
About
themselves
themselves.
so that you don't have to
Yes,
talk
that's
about
very
you.
true.
All right, so you're in Goodbye, Mr. Mackenzie, but they've made you go to the front of the band, and then you break up with the singer, and you end up with what was that Angel thing?
Angelfish was
Angel
the
Fish.
second sort of, oh God, reiteration, I guess, of Goodbye, Mr. Mackenzie, because we had gone to Berlin, we'd spent
That's
all our
awesome.
advance on drugs.
Yeah, great. That's when bands were bands.
And our record company dropped us, but they kept hold of me because they wanted me. They
Right.
still wanted to keep hold of me, and so I just said, "Okay, well, I've got a new band, and it's all of Goodbye, Mr. Mackenzie."
So
in
it's the
it.
same band.
Yeah, but I was the lead singer, but it was
Right.
all the same band and the same writing partnership and so on and so forth. So
So, and did you go to Hansa Studios in
we
Berlin?
did go to Hansa. That's where we recorded.
That's a proper life.
It was a proper life, and then we were there when the wall went down.
Oh no!
crazy.
Did you see Hasselhoff?
I did not see Hasselhoff.
So you did all
unfortunately.
that boy thing of the standing by the wall,
good.
by the wall. Oh man!
Yeah, it was very
That's
romantic.
awesome. That's fantastic
Yeah,
that you've had
the
that.
good
in your
old
life.
days, eh?
Right. So then you go to Hansa and you do an album with Angel.
No, I went and made a record with Chris Frantz and Tina Weymouth of the Talking Heads.
Yeah, they were
yeah.
Tom Tom Club.
That's right.
Right.
And I was really lucky. I got to make a record with them for my first Angelfish record. And then I got spotted by one of the boys in Garbage, and they invited me to come up and audition. They only wanted me to sing one song, so I was like, sure, I'll go and audition. And then it just ended up taking up my whole life. And we were
Yeah,
now
and then
they're
that dragged you in-
regretting their decision
No,
making.
come on. You kind of took over, though. It was like when they introduced the rabbits into Australia. There was like, first there was no rabbits, then there was one rabbit, and now, wow, it's just like all rabbits all over Australia.
Well, to be
You're
fair,
the rabbit in garbage.
To be fair, I think in some ways that is true, like our public persona. That is
Sure,
very true.
yeah.
And I feel like I did that's what they hired me to do. They wanted me to be good at what I did. You know?
Right, be a rock star.
Yeah.
Right.
So I would be failing at my job if I hadn't done that. But we still very much operate as a real democracy. We
Yeah, but
struggle with it, but we do.
But you clearly, democracy is about struggle.
It's a
though, isn't it?
struggle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Certainly in the moment. Let's not.
Let's not go there.
But clearly, because the band is still together like 20, it's like 20 years now.
Yeah, 22
more.
years at
Yeah.
this point.
So you came to America around about the same time I came,
I did.
mid-90s.
I came here in 91, I think, for the first time, and then ended
Right.
up sort of staying from 94 onwards.
That's almost the same. I came just during the OJ trial.
I was stalking you.
No,
Don't be scared, baby.
You
Don't
you
be
got
scared.
here before me, so
I
you
just
were
want to talk.
you were reverse stalking me. Craig, you promised me. You promised me when you were in the audience at that Goodbye Mr. Mackenzie gig and you were drunk and pointing. And you promised me we would be in a relationship. I definitely saw Goodbye Mr. Mackenzie in the Playhouse in Edinburgh.
Yeah, you told me that.
Yeah.
I
that
can
was
remember it
I remember
well.
being there. And
So weird.
I can't remember who there was.
I feel like we may have even met for some reason, but we were both probably very, very drunk.
Yeah, I think we did.
I think we did too. 'Cause
Yeah.
I have this funny, like, ghost memory, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, here's the thing, Shirley. I actually do remember.
Oh,
Oh, no, he's just showing off.
Here it is.
No. This is, I
No,
can tell this
nothing-
is bullshit.
No, it's not. It's not.
Where was it?
It was actually at the Playhouse in Edinburgh, in that wee place upstairs. There was a wee kind of the nightclub or something.
Yeah,
they
the
called it.
nightclub.
Yeah.
Was it in there?
We snogged. in
We
there.
did not.
We did.
No, we definitely
Yeah,
did
we
not.
made out
You
for
are so
about-
full of it.
I don't even know snug means.
Oh, snogged means.
You don't hear. This is what snog is.
If it's exactly like that, no one wants to be in on
no,
it.
no.
It's-
Snogged is people who made out.
Oh, okay.
He's looking really scared.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. Okay, gotcha. I'm sure people wanted to know, but what happened when the noise? Craig was making out with his hand, and
Oh,
Shirley
I
was making
see.
out
Yeah,
with
yeah.
her hand.
Oh no, that was just us making noises, Joe. It's
Yeah.
radio. It's theatre of
Oh,
the mind.
Yeah,
okay.
it's theatre.
Yeah.
Snogging would be mouth to mouth.
With
Yes.
mouth to mouth, exactly.
Oh,
Right.
gotcha.
Okay,
All right.
which, given the fact that we're both enjoying snacks, this is not the time.
No, it's
No.
not the time.
I
All
just
right.
want to learn the terms.
Sure, that's
Especially if
cool.
you're going over there. Joe.
Yeah, that's true.
Which we can't talk about yet
We
because it's
can't.
not been announced.
Hey,
Yeah.
hey, nice snog. No, you want a snog?
Yeah, hey,
You probably don't ask someone.
darling, do you want a snog?
Yeah.
One-
Or you could say, if it's a Glaswegian woman, do you say lumbering in Edinburgh?
No, of course not.
No, of course not.
To, whoa, it's so
Much more
regional.
sophisticated.
Yeah. In Glasgow, you would say you lumbering.
Lumber.
Oh yeah,
Lumbering.
did you get a lumber? That's
Did you
true.
get a lumber,
Did you get a
aye.
lumber? I guess my mum used to say that.
Was your mum from...
But that's not an erection.
No!
No!
Oh, for heaven's sake,
Oh, why have you got to
Joe.
take it down into the
No,
gutter,
I
Joe?
thought that's what I would have guessed.
This
a
is
lumbering.
a family program.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Let's go to the
That's sad.
let's go to the phones. Gus from LA would like to know if Shirley has any advice on navigating the music business today, and if she has any songwriting tips. Well, do you, Shirley?
Yeah, let us.
I have
Navigate-
absolutely none.
Well, you listen. You've survived in a hateful business for a long
It's
time.
a horrible business.
Yeah.
And
And-
actually continues to surprise me. It's still horrible.
Yeah, well, I don't think the cast of characters haven't changed
No.
really. I mean, the vinyl is no longer it, and CDs.
Although
and-
vinyl's making a strong show again.
Did you
which is
put the
great.
last album on vinyl too?
We did, yeah.
Yeah, everybody does that now, don't
Yeah.
they? Is that so that the kids will DJ it?
No, I think it's because we all love it,
Yeah,
and
no,
it's an
vinyl is
excuse to put it on something that sticks around. And
There's a vinyl record player downstairs that's,
Is there really?
that's hooked up to a Marshall amp. That's the truth of it.
oh, I should have brought you some vinyl.
Yes, please.
Okay,
well,
I'll-
if you live nearby.
Yeah, I'll drop it off next time I'm walking the
Yes,
duck.
come on over. We'll get Cara to come over and we'll have the big Egypt Scott
That
rock
would be
special.
amazing. Because when I was a teenager, in all seriousness, which is why I asked you the question, I was obsessed with all things ancient Egypt.
Me too.
And do you remember that big exhibition that came through with the
100%.
pharaohs? And,
Yeah. The King Tut's Death
yeah.
Mask exhibition in London.
Bingo.
And I couldn't go.
I did.
Did you go?
I did. My dad took me down to London to see it.
Oh, God, no. My mum went to see it.
Why
Cause
were we obsessed with it?
I think... here's my...
And why did your mum get to go and you didn't?
She was training to be a teacher,
Oh,
and
wow.
she went back to college when we were quite young, and she wanted to be a school teacher. So, and part of it, they took her down there. So she went. It was quite a scandal at the time. She went away for 2 days. A Scottish woman
No.
leaving her family.
That's
for 2
pretty
days.
out there.
I was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
But she, I think here's my theory. My Auntie Betty.
I had an Auntie Betty too.
It's a Scottish.
Whoa,
thing.
it's not the
My
same
Auntie
person.
Betty who's my godmother, had been a teenager in the 1950s and had sort of kind of come of age late 50s, early 60s. And she had that kind of beehive hair and thick coal eye makeup. And I always associated that with sophistication and kind of sexiness in a way.
I still do.
Right, me too. So, and then when I saw ancient Egyptians, I thought, oh, they have nice
Eye makeup.
eye makeup, and they kind of looked sexy and current, and it was a look which I just kind of was first drawn to. And then when you like crack the cover of that world, it's amazing.
I think you're absolutely right, you know.
So it just the initial kind of aesthetic, like if you look at a young Priscilla Presley when she hooked up with Elvis, she looked like Nefertiti, right down to the makeup.
You're so
and that's what I think drew me in. It was like a pop culture kind of. It was just a mashup that happened at the right time for people that were. I'm a little older than you, but that age.
Can I get flat? Can I lie on a sofa? I've got a few other questions.
Oh yeah, please,
you can ask anything you
I've
like.
got a lot of questions. You're
You know what?
solving some life issues for
You know
me
what,
right now.
Shirley? Give us a call in.
Yes.
Tell us what you're hauling. Tell us what
Okay,
you're
I'm hauling some deep-rooted
shame.
That's
That's Scotland. There's nothing I can do about that.
And a little bit of shame about maybe being a redhead and having white skin with freckles on it.
You kidding me? That's all the rage now. I mean,
All the cool kids are doing
oh
it.
my God! I mean, not only that, but sideburns are back. Not that something. That
I'll tell you what else I'm hauling.
Oh, what?
Well, when I was about 10, I had a goldfish, and the goldfish got a fungus.
Mm-hmm.
And I was treating it for fungus, but it neither got any better nor did it get any worse. It just was going around its little bowl, struggling.
Right.
And I couldn't stand the emotional toll it took to care about my goldfish, so I flushed it down the toilet, and I've never, ever forgiven myself.
Whoa.
Please
Like
help.
Euthanize
All right.
Doctor.
the fish.
Well, here's
I
the thing.
euthanized the fish.
First off, here's the terrible news about the goldfish. Right? I'm sorry that happened. First of all, I'm sorry for the goldfish, and I'm sorry for you.
Thank you.
Secondly, the fact that it still bothers you, even now when you're in your early 30s, is a sign that you are a creature of empathy, and that
I love you, Craig Ferguson.
It is actually a good sign. Also, in a kind of, I know this will upset the animal rights people, but I'm just going to say it. The goldfish has a memory of about 10 seconds. So by the time he's halfway down the pipe, he's forgotten about you.
Okay, good. All right.
And he's forgotten.
I feel better already.
Right. So
I knew you'd
listen,
have the answer.
I would never advocate harm to any of God's creatures. I won't eat them. I won't wear them. Well, I've got a leather jacket, but I got that before I thought this.
Sure.
So it
Fair
kind of
enough.
grandfathered itself.
It wasn't a goldfish jacket either. It was
No, I wouldn't wear a goldfish jacket. No, I love critters, but you can't torture yourself about that kind of. If it was a human, then
Oh my
we'd
God.
have to. We'd have to deal with that.
I would never
flush
a human down the toilet.
That's
I wouldn't, guys. I
logistically very
wouldn't. I
difficult.
swear I wouldn't.
Again? Are we thinking again? I wouldn't flush a human down the toilet. Again? Because I'm feeling that again is there. So listen, anyway, Gus wanted to know any advice on navigating the music business and songwriting tips. How do you navigate a world so full of sociopaths and greedy shit? I'm asking for a friend because the business I'm in is nothing like that.
Yeah, yours is even worse than mine.
It's the same. It's the same.
I don't know. I would want to ask. I want to ask the doctor. I want to ask you. 'cause
Stop
you
deflecting,
I know
you
I'm deflecting.
bastard.
Okay.
Answer the question.
I think I try not to take it too personally. I try and not take the fact that when somebody comes in and takes stuff out my pockets and uses it as their own, try not to take it too personally. I try not to get too angry about it. And I just realised that I have to just focus on being an artist and everything else. I used to be very obsessed with the business and numbers, and you could ask me anything about statistics in our band, and I just gave up on all that. And I think I just focused on doing good work and connecting with people, and the rest can go to hell as far as I'm
That is
concerned.
exactly what I decided to. That is exactly, I think, the right thing to do. And anyone I've talked about who has survived, Joe Walsh sat here a couple of weeks ago, said almost exactly the same thing. That it's what you have to do. Because who are you doing it for?
Yeah, exactly.
It was like, I was talking to Tomas earlier on. Tomas, the beautiful...
I do. We go way back.
Yeah, Tomas is... the ladies like Tomas.
Do they?
Oh, yes. They all respond to Tomas. Because he's like, hello.
He's an angel. He's
Yeah.
an angel.
Is he really an
walking
angel?
among-
I think
is.
he might be. It's certainly otherworldly.
Yeah.
Anyway, I was talking to Tomas about it, and he was saying something about maybe we were talking about some project, and he said maybe the audience wouldn't like that. I went, I can't do it for the fucking audience.
No, sadly you can't.
I wish I could. I want them to like it, but I can't do it for them.
No.
Then you're sunk.
Yeah,
Then you're one of them.
generally speaking, you end up pissing your audience off anyway.
Sure,
because they
because-
want you to be yourself.
Yeah, they're also, you hope an audience is made up of individuals that have a thought process. I'm not I mean, unless I'm actually talking about ball and brand sheets, I'm not selling ball and brand sheets unless I'm in that 30 seconds where we've all agreed, all right, I'll do it for that amount of time.
Well, there's some realistics to business.
Right,
you
gotta
pay your bills.
Right. But you got to pay for. I think the idea of the struggling artist is absurd. I don't think poverty. I come from a poor background, and we used to always tell ourselves that we were more valuable as artists because we had come from poor backgrounds. And then you read and see paintings and listen to musicians who come from privileged backgrounds, and there's no fucking difference.
Yeah.
I think that it's just something that people who are poor. What we tell ourselves sometimes to be more comfortable. But artistic integrity is easier if you've got a couple of bob in your pocket.
Of course it is.
It just is.
Yeah.
So go ahead and write those jingles, Gus. And he wants to know any songwriting tips.
Well, again, I would say just tell the truth. That's the best advice I can give anybody, is just tell the truth.
And at some point have a key change up.
No, I hate key changes.
Oh, come on.
Come on. Just one.
No, I'm anti-key change. Sorry, I really am.
You got to have the key change.
I'm
telling you, I like
change.
Stupid Girl, but everybody, Stupid Girl, and then Stupid Girl.
I think...
Yeah. Come on.
No, I'm really against the key change, personally.
Really? Do you think it's cynical?
It feels cynical to me, usually.
Yeah.
I mean, there's occasionally some songs will demand it, and it sounds effortless and cool, but in general it sounds, like
please like it.
Please like it, yeah. And I think it's a really dangerous headspace to get into, particularly today, where everyone is obsessed about being liked. Everybody's obsessed about being number one. Everybody's obsessed about numbers. And I think in order to navigate today, you've got to stop and not think about all of that.
I actually think that it's kind of like LA. Social media is like Los Angeles, or show business even is like Los Angeles. It's only dangerous if you fucking take it seriously.
Yeah.
If you don't take it seriously, it has absolutely no worth. It's that, the line in the old Ry Cooder song, the very thing that makes them rich will make you poor, right? So if they define your success, then your success is defined by someone else. Fuck them. Your success, if you're sitting in a truck and you're hauling 48,000 tons of lumber across these United States, and that's what you wanted to do, fucking A, you win. Congratulations. That's what you wanted to do.
You're hauling victory.
Yeah, you're hauling victory. So if your name is Quincy and you called in from Sacramento and you're hauling 48,000 pounds of lumber, you fucking go, girl.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm assuming. Anyway, Will from Atlanta called in. He's going to the Fringe Festival in Edinburgh. You'll see Shirley there. She's coming. We haven't announced it yet. In fact, we haven't even agreed it yet. But I think you should come.
I would love to come.
Go see your family and come. We blow their fucking minds. Oh, come on. And we're both talking. We'll talk like Lulu at Tea in the Park.
Oh my God.
Oh, that was
Sheena Easton, though, wasn't it?
Was it Sheena Easton?
Yeah.
See, the Scottish singers, or sometimes Scottish artists, when they go back and they patronise the Scottish audience, they pay a dear price.
Oh God. Yeah. She got egged.
What'd she do? She just talked with an American accent?
Yeah, she came to America. She was a Scottish girl who basically won the first sort of The Voice, right? It was the show she won was first version of The Voice, and she won. She came over to America and she literally talked like this before she left, and then she came back to Scotland and she kind of talked like that.
You guys are amazing. I love your plaid.
You guys are
and
awesome.
She's talking at people of Scotland, not
but in
as
a
one of
weird
them?
quasi-American Scottish accent, and the Scots egged her.
Yeah, they got
literally egged her.
Literally
egged her. That's what. Remember when I took the late night show there, I was terrified that they were going to egg me.
Yeah, I can imagine. I'd be worried about that.
There was a little bit of egging, but not too much. It was okay.
You survived your egging.
A little bit. Do you know what actually turned me around on it a wee bit?
Everyone's very proud of you back in Scotland.
Do you know who said that to me? And thank you for saying that. It was Alex Salmond.
Oh my God, the leader of the SNP.
The First Minister for Scotland at the time. And I said, he was over here and I was talking to him and I said, I don't know, I don't feel that if I go back I'll get into trouble. I mean, I sneak in and out, but I couldn't do anything. They went, oh, stop it.
Oh.
He said, oh, stop it. Everyone's very happy. And the people that don't like you, Craig, they never liked you. I was like, okay,
good
that's
advice
it.
he gave you.
Yeah, that's all right, fine. I get it now. But you worry about it. It's like family a little bit.
Yeah, it's still important to me for whatever reason. I don't know why. The Scottish audience are important to me.
Yeah, me too. If I get a bad review in the Daily Record,
It's a bummer.
It's terrible. If I got a bad review in the New York Times, I couldn't give a rat's
But
ass.
strangely, I find too that a lot of the time I get bad reviews at home and great reviews worldwide.
Oh, well,
but I look at the Scottish papers, I'm like, Jesus Christ, what the do
Yeah,
I have
no,
to
but
do to like win these people over?
I think what you have to do is just not die. It's like you get to the Sean Connery moment where I think you're tenured.
Yeah,
Like, I think
eventually.
Eventually, you're all
When
right.
you lose all your power and prowess,
Yeah, then
they
it's
come
fine.
to you.
It's the Craig Ferguson Show on Sirius XM. Comedy Greats.
Shirley Manson is emotional.
Yeah.
She's emotional. Something beautiful happened.
Something
during...
beautiful really did happen.
All right, tell everybody what happened, Shirley.
Craig's little boy,
Liam James.
I wasn't sure if I was allowed to use his name, but Liam James came in and gave me a most beautifully executed paper airplane.
Yes.
And
Yes.
it says on it, to Shirley, love Liam.
That's
my
some
goodness.
pretty
That
big
is
honour. He
really-
doesn't do that for everybody.
Is that true?
That's absolutely true.
He's never made me a paper airplane.
He's never made.
Well, you don't deserve one,
I think
clearly.
he's made me a paper, but we have, a lot of the top-notch
No!
entertainment providers come through here, and that's the
so
first
cute.
one.
And I liked it best when he put his sweatshirt over his head and pretended to be some kind of freaky ghost and
Yeah.
started like, ooh.
Yeah,
I'm like, yeah, you
That's,
taught my language.
that's right.
Really
He's the front
adorable.
row of the garbage concert. Yeah.
And then I met your beautiful wife.
Yes, he's all
After
right.
all
isn't she?
these years, yes, you married up, clearly.
I did. I did. The thing is, as well, after all this time, she still looks great.
Yes, she's
And
delightfully
I'm
beautiful.
falling apart.
Do shut up. I already told you looked good when I came in. Stop fishing for compliments.
Thank you.
You
and
got
well
your
spotted.
compliments.
Anyway, let's talk about your career, Shirley. So now you're just joining garbage. It's the mid-90s. Things are going crazy.
Christ, are we
Hoobastank,
still-
rule, rock and
They
roll.
sure did.
That's really weird. When I listen to some of the 90s stuff, like the garbage stuff really holds up. We were listening to a lot of it. And the early stuff holds... Well, is that early for garbage? It is to me. I mean, like,
I guess so.
the mid-90s stuff...
Mid-90s was when we began.
Right, but it doesn't sound have that kind of thing that was going on in the
Yeah.
mid-90s. I don't know what happened. There's a whole kind of weird, uncomfortable thing happened then that Joe, you probably don't remember it, but I
No,
remember.
that's about, I would have been about 10 in the
Yeah, yeah.
mid-90s.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Is that
Cute.
awful?
No, it's cute.
Is it all right?
Yeah, I think
Are you
that's
okay
cute.
with the aging process?
I think, generally speaking, I have my moments. I think you'd be a liar to say you didn't. But
Right.
in general, I feel good about aging. I feel better about my life,
Right.
in my life. I don't particularly enjoy a rear view mirror,
I hear
anymore
you.
when I step out the shower. I can't say I enjoy looking at the backside with no clothes on in the same way that perhaps I once did.
Maybe you should take your trousers off and let
No.
Joe and I... Okay, well...
I shan't be taking off my clothes in front of anybody. But in
right.
seriousness, yeah, I mean, who likes to watch their outer shell start to deteriorate? It's not fun, but there are other compensations, I think. I feel
There
very
are.
grateful to be 50 and still making music. And
You'll make music till you're an old lady.
I think I
Don't-
probably
they
will.
You'll be going on with the walker.
I will totally be
the thing with the
rocking
wee
it.
tennis balls at the front, and
Yeah.
you'll be like, stupid girl.
I probably will.
Yeah, and you should. I think the whole idea of, people talk about slut shaming, age shaming, not age shaming, they talk about slut shaming and gender shaming and gender preference shaming and gay shaming and whatever.
Just a lot of shame.
There's a lot of shaming, but shaming somebody for aging is fine. It's like, no, fuck you. It's not. It's not fine.
I don't
'Cause
think- yeah.
There's nothing wrong with it. It's a completely natural process.
Well, I think in this country in particular, but it's all over the world now, there's a strange disassociation with aged people. We're disrespectful to our elders, which I think is outrageous.
Yeah, it's wrong.
We refuse to actually listen to them when they clearly have more knowledge than we do,
Mm-hmm.
and everybody's obsessed. Adults are obsessed over young children. There's a lot of, I think, really inappropriate fetishizing of young children in Hollywood and in the music industry that kind of creeps me out, and I think is really inappropriate. You know, you see the kids from Stranger Things. I'm assuming you've seen that TV show.
Sure.
Yeah.
These kids are like barely 14 now, let alone when they were in the show, when everyone became obsessed with them. And they fetishize these kids, and I think it's like really perverse.
Do you know, I think I can remember when I first saw it in our world. It was...
Do we have a world?
Yeah, we have a world, Shirley.
that's
We
so
have a
nice.
world that we come from and that we live in and that is... yes, we do. And I remember... Do you remember after the Pistols when Malcolm put... Bow Wow Wow together with Annabelle
Annabella,
Lee?
yeah.
And she was like 15 or something at the time.
And we were all shocked.
Yeah, we were horrified because she was like wearing like bikinis and stuff like that and singing.
Oh, that's weird, yeah.
I Want Candy and, you know.
Oh, that is weird.
And this, because the thing that had drawn me, maybe I liked about when punk rock happened and when like, nobody called it post-punk then, but really it was
post-punk, yeah.
It was that it felt like grown-ups. It felt like we were grown-ups doing grown-up shit and we were like kind of dirty and dangerous, and then you bring a kid into that, it makes everybody feel weird and you shouldn't be there.
Except people don't feel weird now. That's the thing. Like the amount of people that send me things like new bands and artists that they want me to sort of, like, I don't know, support, I guess. They'll say, you know, she's 13 and she sings like an angel. And already I'm just like, I'm uninterested. Sorry,
Right.
I don't think 13-year-olds should be pimped basically by adults to make money, which is essentially what's happening. And it really like my stomach just is really upset by it. I just don't like it. It's not
awful.
right.
It's awful. And then what they say is, they want to do it.
Yeah.
They're like, you know what? My kids want to eat candy all day. They're still not fucking going to do it. I'm the grown-up here. No.
Yeah,
you know,
my kids, my niece wants to jump off a bridge, it doesn't mean I should let her do it.
No, it's not going to happen. But I think what happens is that the weird kind of, it's got to be next. It's got to be something next. It's got to be something new. It's got to be something new. I'm like,
so empty.
It's so weird. But if you look at any artists of integrity, which I include you.
Thank you.
And I'm very, like, maybe in the number one position. Right ahead of Picasso.
that I've seen it. Yeah, it's
Definitely.
right. It's neck and neck.
It's
but
neck and neck.
Goes,
if you Wikipedia,
goes to Shirley.
Greatest integrity artist. If you Google that, it's Shirley, then Picasso, then I think Chagall's in there somewhere. And then,
So I'm already slipping down already.
no.
Number
You're,
3.
you're number one, but I'm talking about the other ones.
Yeah.
Picasso, Chagall, Debbie Harry, Leonard Cohen, I think, maybe there somewhere.
Nah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, Leonard Cohen.
Yeah.
I don't know.
This year he went up a little, but he's still not. He's top
You don't-
5.
He gets the bump.
You get the bump.
You get
Yeah, that's true.
the old deceased bump.
Yeah.
But, if true artists, I don't think, see it that way. If you watch really good musicians, or even really good comedians, and comedians are not pack animals, really, but
you can't afford to be.
not really, especially if we kind of work alone, and if you're an iconoclast who works alone, your friends are going to be limited, But what happens is that, like, we lost a really good one, and I love this guy, is Don Rickles, who's an old-timey comedian, and his work was not anything like what's current now. It's not, but it didn't matter to most of I knew him and I loved him, and I know a lot of guys not just guys, but I'm saying guys and a kind of guys and girls.
People.
Yeah.
A lot of people who adored him, and he was making a style of comedy which had gone out of fashion, but it didn't matter because it was his. And I think that if your work becomes about just what's fashionable at the time, you're sunk.
Yeah, I totally agree with you.
Even if you're 16,
But
17.
it's very hard to get to that moment that everybody does in their career where you realise for the first time you're no longer the zeitgeist, the cultural zeitgeist. And
that's
all of a
horrible.
sudden there is a new kid in town and they're doing something completely different from what you're doing. And it is very tempting to just throw the baby out with the bathwater and like try and follow a trend.
Right.
Like the temptation to do that is enormous.
Yeah, it is. And I feel like a couple of times have tripped over myself.
We all have.
And I think eventually you have to say, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to. When I was towards the end of late night, everybody wanted to make viral things. You're like, this has to go viral. And I'm like, you know what? Fucking flu is a virus. Fuck you. I'm not doing it. And of course, that went down great. But
I bet it did. I bet you won a lot of friends.
But I tried it at first. I did try. I didn't just say it right away.
There's nothing wrong with trying it.
I tried it and I was like, this makes me feel. I feel like a kind of like.
Grubby.
Yeah, I feel like the kind of old guy, Chris Rock's thing, the oldest guy in the club. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like there's always the oldest guy in the club standing at the bar, too old to be there.
Yeah.
It's like, no, I don't want to be that guy. I want to get old like Billy Connolly or Picasso or Rickles. You know, where you just do your fucking thing. And if people come, they come, and if they don't, they don't.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's difficult though, because you see a lot of people who play the game alongside you start to do really, really well, and you're left in the dust, and you're thinking, have I made the wrong decision by sticking to my guns? I'm an idiot. I should drink the Kool-Aid like everybody else. But you can't help but have that voice, the sort of Emperor's New Clothes, where you're looking at the new thing and going, but it's stupid. And I don't want to pursue it.
My unhealthy relationship with that was money. Because what happened is eventually, and I'm sure the same thing happens in music, that you get paid a lot of money for doing something you do anyway.
Yeah.
And then I started to I fell in love more with the money than what I was doing.
Than living free.
Right. Mm-hmm. And so I kind of, like, I'd be like, oh, they're going to, you want to do this thing? In my case, it was a game show. I said, do you want to do
I loved your game show.
Well, thank you. And do you know what was weird? There's a kind of codicil to this, because the decision I made to do the game show was wrong. Right? It was like, they're going to pay you all this money and you can do it in that period of time. And I'm like, bang, I'll do it. Fine, I don't care. And I did it for the money. But what happened is everybody I worked with on that show they were the nicest people I've ever worked with. They were great. They were professional. They loved game shows, which was weird for me because I didn't. And they really loved it, and they were good at it, and they were passionate about it, and that's what became infectious.
Yeah.
And what I felt bad about was doing it for the money. But what was okay about it was that the people who loved it, the producers and the people who were making the show, and the contestants even, they were like, they loved it. I was like, what?
Yeah, so you got a good cheap lesson.
Yeah, it was.
You got out without doing too much damage to yourself, your career.
Career. I don't even know if that's a thing. Is that a thing, really?
I don't know. Probably not. But you know what I mean. Like, it's good to be conscious, I think, of what. I don't know. I don't even know what I'm trying to say. But anyway, the point I wanted to make was, so you see all your peers make these compromises and you feel like an idiot for not making them. And then the short game ends and then we're all in the long game.
Right.
And you start to see the repercussions that come along with making some dubious choices in your career.
Yeah.
And now that I've sort of gotten through the wilderness years, so to speak, I'm grateful that I stuck to my guns, but it was difficult.
Do you think you made what were the mistakes you made, do you think? Are you comfortable even talking about them?
I don't know if I guess I thought that I could pursue a solo career whilst my band were on hiatus because we weren't getting on very well. And I was like, okay, well, fuck them.
Right.
If we're not getting along, I still want to make music because it's what I do. It's fish out of water if I'm not. And I guess that in some regards was a mistake, because it turned out to be a disastrous experience and was actually detrimental to my confidence and my creativity in some ways.
Well, you didn't like the music or you didn't like the experience?
I didn't like the experience of going into rooms with strangers and trying to write music. I mean, it was horrible. It was like I felt like a streetwalker in a funny way. And I was like, why am I doing this?
It's a weird, awkward thing to write a song.
Of course it is.
You'd have to be it's like having sex. You want to do it with someone you kind of know and it's going to be okay.
Or at least there's some magic.
Right.
You know? So I realised I'm in a room with this old guy and I don't even like him. I don't even like his ideas.
Are you talking about now?
No.
Oh, no, back then. Right, okay.
I'm giving Craig the finger right about now.
How dare you? You didn't learn that in Edinburgh.
But yeah, it was just weird and uncomfortable and horrible. And I'm glad that I got out of it because I was doing it for stupid reasons.
What were the reasons?
I wanted to make music and I thought that I had to keep my record label interested because if I didn't, I would get dropped. You know,
right.
The business side of it. And then I got to the point where I was like, you know what? I don't give a fuck if they drop me.
Do you know what was great? I heard a great analogy. You know Moby?
Of course.
Right, I was talking to Moby about this one day. He was talking about, he said, I hate touring so much. I said, well, why did you do it so much? He said, well, because everybody told me if I didn't tour at least once a year, then people wouldn't come and see me when I was touring there next time. And he said, eventually it occurred to me, he said, wait, if I stop doing what I hate doing, then I won't have to do it anymore.
Wow.
Okay, I'm taking that risk. It's such a weird thing, but it's you don't think about it like people say. No, you got to do that show. Well, why?
Why?
Why do I have to do that show? Because if you don't do that show, then you won't. Then I won't fucking what?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, that I have to go back. It's not that nobody can send me back to Cumbernauld in 1970. That's because it doesn't exist. It's not there.
But I think when your careers break out, like when young artists are established, it's because they're breaking all the rules.
Yes.
And then we all get, as we get established, we all play by the rules, and it becomes the kiss of death to an artist that's been around for a while.
And creativity as well is such a. I mean, because there has to be like if you make the kind of music you want to make. What is there a type of music that you listen to that is not related in any way to the type of music that you make? Mm-hmm. What would that music be?
Well, I listen to a lot of classical and jazz.
Would you ever consider writing and composing music like that?
I'm not a good enough musician to do classical, unfortunately, but I could probably sing jazz.
Then would you do it?
I would.
Then I think you should.
I might.
Welcome to the Jazz Trio. Egyptology. That'll be the name of our jazz group.
Well in! Yes!
That is
Yeah.
exciting. Yeah.
Welcome to the Cafe Paris tonight.
No, it needs to be a hotter voice. You've got to be like, take it down. It's all really slow and really low.
Well, this sounds like jazz.
Yeah, that's it.
Smooth jazz.
Yeah.
Welcome to 104.3 The Wave.
Smoothest jazz west of the Mississippi.
Shirley Manson, lead singer with Egyptology. Finest jazz combo in the West Coast. Ba-doom doom 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 doom. Doom 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 ba-doom doom 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 ba-doom doom 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 doom. I think that
It's a hit, guys. It's a hit.
I think it is. Do people still say that in the music business? It's a hit.
Oh yeah, all the time. And
Really?
my toes curl in my shoes as like literally 60-year-old men wet their pants over 15-year-olds singing about having a bang in the club. I don't know. The whole thing makes my toes curl.
Do you know, I feel bad though, because when I went to the club, the nightclub in the Playhouse in Edinburgh, nobody
But we
was
snogged.
banging in the club.
But we were snogging.
We snogged, but that was a snog.
Yeah.
So?
Simple snog.
A simple snog.
No
a
such
snog if
thing
you-
as a snip. A
snipple snog?
A snipple snog.
That's a
It's
symbol.
like Harry Potter.
Here, Mr. Snipple
Snog.
Snog, come over here. Come over here and take one of your potions to the
Snipple
top.
snog is really good.
Mr. Snipple Snog.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
It's creepy.
Yeah. Do you like the creepy, scary stuff? I imagine you're probably into horror movies and
I
stuff.
cannot handle anything
Really?
like. I'm not kidding. I can't handle it. Much to the amusement of my beloved husband,
Really?
who loves horror.
Really?
And I can't. I start crying. I literally start shaking. I'm just too. I'm too empathetic.
You goes back to the goldfish.
Goes back to the
Oh,
goldfish.
man.
You're
Yeah,
quick.
yeah,
you are
it
a
does.
professional.
I am.
You
And
sure are.
I concentrate when ladies are talking.
Is
Because,
that right?
Well, I was raised by Scottish women, and
I know you were.
And I remember very clearly, I was conditioned to me when a Scottish woman is talking, fucking listen.
Oh, you'll see the back of my hand.
Exactly. It's like, you better be careful.
Yep.
She's saying something. You better listen.
Yeah, I was brought up like that too, actually.
Yeah, it's.
But that's what I love about Scotland is a strong, strong matriarchy.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
Like very, very, and it's what I think I've never seen a Hollywood depiction of Scotland in the movies that actually recognises
Yeah.
that, because Scotland is a matriarchy,
Yeah.
as are the Irish. You know,
Yeah.
the Irish are very like that too, but they don't get that.
Yeah, it's very
Outsiders
true.
don't see it. It's weird.
Yeah.
They get it about Italians. You see it done with Italians. They understand. Italians are a bit
See,
like that.
I don't think the Italians. Well, I guess that that's a complicated one because it's also very patriarchal.
Yeah, you know what? Megan feels the same as you about it.
Yeah.
I kinda-
Mexico is a beautiful matriarchy, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know much about Mexican
Oh,
culture.
it's heavenly.
Yeah?
Yes.
Do you spend a lot of time down
Yes. Yes. Well, as much as I can, but I love it
there? As much as you can.
as much as I can.
Do you go down there for festivals and stuff? And like, I don't know what.
Yeah, but I've been down
Day
there
of
for
the
holidays.
Dead and all that?
I've been there for Day of the Dead, which is incredible. Really,
Yeah.
I mean, again, I feel that's a very Scottish sort of
I know.
sentiment, is to
It is.
acknowledge your death and things that matter to you and people that I don't know, you've lost along the way. Scots love to talk about
Oh,
death.
yeah. You know, there's a tomb in Orkney. It's a Bronze Age tomb called
Maze Howe.
Maze Howe,
Yeah,
right?
been there, done that.
Right. So you know in Maze Howe it lines up in the sunset or
With the solstice.
The solstice, the sun shines right into the grave at the back.
Oh, that's cool.
And on the back there's runic writing, but there's also runic graffiti. Do you know that?
I do know that.
Do you know what it says?
I can't remember. It's something silly like Roger was here or something.
No, because I went there with a guy from an archaeologist from Edinburgh, and he told me what it was. He didn't want to tell me. I said, "Come on, tell me." And he said, "Roughly, it's Ingeborg Svensson has the biggest tits in Norway."
No, I knew it was something stupid. Yeah.
I love that.
Incredible.
I love it.
It's
Plus,
incredible.
that must have been Ingeborg Svensson. Must have been a hell of a girl.
Sure
I
must
mean,
have
these
been.
guys were
Woo.
over. They would come over the North Sea on glorified rafts. You know, pillaged and murdered their way across the island, and then were still writing about her when they were burying their chief or something.
Crazy.
Yeah.
I love Orkney. It's really magical, right?
Orkney is amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. The islands off the north coast of Scotland.
Oh.
They're fantastic. You might want to go there this year, Joe.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
think? What do you do there?
Nothing. You just
Nothing.
wander around. There's nobody there. Biking is good, although it is quite hilly.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I can't handle that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you'd be all right.
Yeah?
Yeah, and there's a lot of beaches, really nice beaches.
Okay.
And a
I'm
lot
in.
of detritus has washed up in them over the years from different
Oh, is
wars and
Yeah. Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
All
the old ships.
naval base was up there, right?
Yeah, and then there was some big sea battles in the Second World War were up there and stuff.
Well, sounds great. Let's do it.
Yeah, well, you do it. I've been up there.
Okay. All right. I'll tell you how.
I'll be in Edinburgh with Shirley.
That's right. Yakking it up in Rose Street.
Yeah, we'll be. Do you ever do that pub crawl in Rose Street?
No, I can't do that.
Yeah,
anymore.
I tried it back in the day. I don't think I ever actually did it. It's something like
That's not my
30-something
style.
pubs in Rose Street, and you have to have a drink in every one of them. That's
I've always
nothing.
thought people that do that really. I'm sorry to sound so judgmental because it is. I'm being really judgmental
That's
here,
okay.
but seeing people drink to get legless breaks my heart.
Yes, it's a pathology.
It's not a good look.
It's a pathology. I freely admit it. When I did it, it was because I was desperate and I didn't know how not to do it.
Because see, I can't even understand what that's like.
It's not a lot.
Is it just obliteration you're seeking?
I was seeking nothingness.
Yeah.
Is what I was seeking. Yeah, I was trying to find a way to not feel
anything.
Yeah. But you know, it's funny because people would say odd things like "stop" or "Why do you do that?"
No, don't, Craig. Don't have another one.
Yeah. I'd be like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
And even now to this day, like Megan will have a glass of wine or 2 glasses of wine and say, "Oh, I'm going to stop. I'm starting to feel it." I'm like, that's
the best bit.
That's not even the bit. That's the start of it. That's not the stopping of drinking. The starting of drinking is when you feel it.
Fascinating. No, see, I'm like her. I'm like, I don't want to be out of control.
Yeah, I don't know, but
Yeah.
It's the Craig Ferguson Show on Sirius XM. Comedy Greats.
I'm very excited, everybody. We're having such a lovely time today because Shirley Manson, lead singer with jazz combo Egyptologist.
That's what she's known for. You go
Yeah,
Wikipedia.
she's a
it's
great
that.
band.
It's
Yeah,
just
I
that.
mean,
I've got all their early stuff.
Well, all the early influence, the stuff by Beat Beat Burnett and
Beep Beep Burnett.
Twinkie Zingy. I don't know anything about jazz. I know that every time I listen to jazz, to be honest, I'm like, not the old stuff.
Yeah.
But some like the modern kind of complicated stuff, it makes me irritated. I can't relax in it somehow. I think it needs an E major 7 a lot more than it's got.
That's him throwing down a little music knowledge there.
Yeah.
No, that's the only
Music
chord
theory.
I know. But it's the only one I care about.
It's a good one, though.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like nice. That's the one you go feedback. The end of the beginning of the song cymbals, the E still going.
Yeah, that's nice.
And then the song starts.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
Yeah, you've got to have
That's
that
hot.
song. Do you know that the sensational Alex Harvey band? We were talking
Yes,
about
we were.
Alex Harvey was a great Scottish musician that I loved, and I presume you loved
Yes,
too.
I do.
He died very young of alcoholism, and that's the story of a lot of those guys. But his band went to him. His band were called the Sensational Alex Harvey Band, and they said, "Alex, we'd like to try making an album and call it Sab Without Alex." the sensational Alex Harvey band, without you in it. You know, for ourselves, just because you're such a big figure and he said, I have no problem, boys, not at all, on one condition: you do not use the chord E.
Amazing.
And they did it, and the album's shit.
Wow.
That is a crazy story.
I don't know if it's true, but I like the idea of it. I think I like all these characters. I don't. Maybe it's because I don't really follow music now, but I don't feel like it has. I feel like the characters of rock and roll are probably all a bit older. Or maybe it's just the ones I like.
No, I think it's just the culture right now doesn't allow characters like that to breed and bloom and be appreciated. You know, they either are forced with, you need to change and play the game and be like D-Claude, or you will never make a penny.
Right.
Or you can just be someone that nobody knows of. That's your choice right now. I think that's what artists feel is their choice, but of course it's not. But I think they all feel like they have to. You know, you see interesting artists emerge with their first record. By the time the second one comes around, they're making like generic pop sounding music.
Yeah,
and
it's
so
interesting
tedious.
and it's hard because before punk and that big rebellion, because people think punk was about music. I don't think punk was about music
political.
at all. It was political. It was about fashion. It was about art. It was
and it's also about environmentalism and fighting racism, and
it was a seismic shift.
Yeah.
You know, it was an absolute crack in pop culture, and that doesn't happen very often.
No, it was massive.
But we could do with one. I just don't know what
it
is.
No, we need one too, but I'm not entirely sure what it is either.
I mean, whenever I kind of try and like things that are controversial sometimes in the hope that they're going to turn into something more
big.
Yeah, but it doesn't seem to be happening.
No, it lasts 5 seconds.
What?
Whatever it is, it lasts 5 seconds.
Well, because somebody was talking to me about the OJ trial.
Yeah.
You know, did you watch that?
I did.
Right. And they're saying, oh, imagine if that was today. And I said, if it's today, it would have been 5 minutes and then we'd be on to something else. No one would give a shit.
Yeah. It's really strange. But I do think there's a turning point right now that's occurring. For whatever reason, I think we can be thankful to Donald Trump, actually, in some ways, for he's this hot rod that's caused a lot of like people to really declare who they are and what they want and how they see the world, and you know that's good for people, even though it's painful for us all. I think it's good to have dialogue and people pushing up against each other, because then people actually have to stand for something, and I don't think anybody's really stood for something for a while.
No, I think that's true, and I think that change is very, very difficult, and societal change, it's always the poor who get fucked.
Punished. Yeah,
always.
It's terrible.
And it's always been that way, and it always seems to be that way. And what concerns me about the recent events is that I feel like the poor are being promised a lot, and they're going to get fucked the most.
Yeah,
like they always do. You know, and it's
now something has to change fundamentally. You know, about the way our worlds work. It's kind of like what the Pope was saying. You know, about we cannot sustain this world order anymore, focusing solely on money and profit. We have to change the way we think.
It's an evolutionary, it's an imperative. I mean,
it's insane in America to have the problems you have with poverty and homelessness and so on and so forth. I don't know why I'm saying you, because you're a Scotsman, but we live in this country and we love this country, and we see it in maybe some ways that Americans don't, because they're American. And but you know, there's poverty in this country, and it's outrageous that it continues with all the money that's here.
Every American that I know, I would encourage every American that owns a car that has a little money to take a drive through a town called Gary, Indiana, and tell me you know what this country is about.
Yeah, heartbreaking.
You know, you drive through Gary, Indiana. When we drove through it, Joe, you remember? I was like, I can't fucking believe this is the country I've got tattooed on my body. Yeah. This is not what happened. You know.
Yeah, if you go down into Alabama and like all deep south, it's shocking. Yeah. Like it's just almost unbelievable.
It is a terrifying thing. But you know, I was thinking about you know, in a very weird, odd way, because it sounds like a total privilege thing to talk about. But I was driving that electric car today, and I tested it out and I drove it around, and it's fantastic. And it was the first time I thought, well, that's it. fucking cars or steam trains now. It's just a matter of time.
Yeah, it's a matter of time.
And I wonder if is societal greed, there is an inevitability. We either heal ourselves or we're fucked.
Yeah, it's like Rome. I always say to my husband, my favourite phrase is always, Rome is burning, Rome is burning, and nobody's noticing it.
Yeah, I think there's plenty of
because you
people
have to
noticing
change or you face extinction,
It's that whole thing as well, is that everything feels permanent while you stand in it. Like you think, well, Rome will never fall. We've been here for 700 years. Of course there's seismic political change, but you go, no, Rome fell.
And the idea of Rome falling, if you study Rome, is like shocking. In some ways they were more sophisticated than we are now.
Politically, they were, the American model is based on Rome. Although their idea of democracy was...
Little difference.
It's a bit of a stretch. But, all right. Renee in California called in and asked Shirley, lead singer with Egyptology, did you write the #1 crush before the Romeo and Juliet movie came out?
Well, I don't mean to be rude, but it was in the Romeo and Juliet movie, so clearly we did write it before it came out. Sorry, Renee.
Yeah.
The movie didn't play with an empty score for that bit. You ran into the theater and started playing along and came up with it?
Yeah.
Renee, think it through, girl.
Poor Renee, she's probably like,
no, we're not shaming you, but here's the thing. I have to tell you something. This is absolutely true. Did I tell you this about that time I was talking to Steven Spielberg?
No, I don't think so.
I've met Steven
How
Spielberg.
incredible.
No, I've talked to him a couple of times. He's all right. He's pretty... He's weird? He loves Guinness, and he has a little pub under his house.
What's weird about that?
No, it's just I didn't think that about Steven. I don't think Steven Spielberg, he loves Guinness. He has a little Guinness on tap pub under his house.
Oh, God, that's
in the basement.
great.
I imagine that he's got all these little ETs in there and all that, and they all have strength.
He sits and talks to him,
Right,
and they
yeah.
don't
But
respond.
I was talking to Steven Spielberg, it was about a movie score, and he said, I can't remember who it was. It was some big musician though, who's insane, who came up to him at the Oscars and said, "I've written a score for Schindler's List," and he's like, "Well, thanks, but it's got a score."
So weird.
The guy was like, "No, I've finished it." He's like, "But I don't know what you want me to do. You want me to
So
put it on?"
weird.
It's so
wow.
So you're not alone, Renee, is what I'm saying. Many people, one other person I've
Has
heard
made the
of
same mistake.
has made a similar mistake. Charles from Canada called in and said that he loves Shirley's work, but is not too keen on this show.
Charles, he's just messing with
I'm
you.
messing with you, Charles. Do you want to... What, yeah?
Hey, but have you heard about this podcast, S-Town?
No, what's that?
Oh, yes,
You
I've
heard
listened
about
to
this?
it.
And?
It's great.
Yeah,
What is it? I don't know anything about it. Tell me.
It's the This American Life crew. So Ira Glass, and then people that did Serial, which was the big their big spinoff that was huge 2 years ago. They've done a second season.
Right.
It's about a guy who contacted the show. I think he's in Louisiana, and he's this very eccentric character. And he said there was corruption going on, but the podcast ends up being about this guy who's this really interesting character. It's really well done.
No, all right. Okay. S-Town?
S-Town.
But it's short for Shit Town. He's like, you need to come down to my city and see what's going on here, because there's been some murders and it's all like this bizarre, intricate kind of, almost like a thriller.
Yeah, but it's this guy who's brilliant, but also very complicated and progressive for his town. But then they lean into it, and then you find out maybe not so progressive in his beliefs, and it's really
It's a little like Making of a Murderer in the way that it really takes you through all these loops and turns.
And it's in radio form?
Podcast.
Yeah.
Podcast. That's like internet radio?
internet radio.
Yeah. It's people talking, but you can't see them. It's either radio, podcast, or schizophrenia.
Yes,
right?
Those are the
exactly.
big three.
These are the three
Yeah,
big
you do all
things.
three very well.
I feel like I've never been diagnosed schizophrenic.
I know you haven't.
But I will say this. There were certain drugs that were going around Scotland around about the time. I don't know, do you ever run out of speed? Do you ever take any speed?
I loved speed.
Right, speed. Coming off speed
It was terrible.
was the most distressing thing I've ever done.
Well, it's really toxic.
It's very bad.
It's very. Don't do it, kids. By the way,
No, and I don't think you can get it.
I was
now
an
anyway.
idiot. I don't know why I did all that. It was so stupid.
It's so weird. On one hand, I kind of like despair for the youth, and then on the other hand, I look at the youth, and a lot of them, my own kids, they seem to be they're not buying the swindle so much.
Yeah.
like they're quite good
because
at
they're
spotting a
exposed to
fake.
everything,
Yeah.
to be fair.
Yeah.
We weren't exposed to anything.
No,
we
I
didn't
know.
see anything. It was all in our imagination. So our imagination ran riot.
I know.
Whereas now you can see it all at your fingertips. It must be weird to grow up right now.
It would be strange. Like Joe and I the other day were talking about, I wonder if there's such a subsect as underwater porn. And Joe had his computer, so we Googled it. And there's like tons of videos for underwater. It's a real thing that people have got. And I was like,
I've always found having sex underwater quite difficult.
I've never had sex
Never, ever.
underwater. Well, I jerked off once in the rain, but that's not the same.
It's not quite the
Not
same.
That is actually the saddest image I can imagine.
No, that's
Hey,
a lovely image.
That's a
Standing in the
walk in the park in Scotland, my friend.
Exactly. That's
Yeah.
a romantic image where we come from.
That's right.
Oh, goodness.
Kelvin Grove Park in the lane.
It's like a bad John Cusack movie where he doesn't go get the girl.
There's no such thing as a bad John Cusack
Thank
movie.
you.
Okay, but if
Thank you.
John
Come
Cusack
on.
standing alone in the rain masturbating.
I think that sounds heavenly.
Oh, really? You'd see it?
Yeah, I'd pay
Yeah.
to see that.
Well, Cusack, if you're listening, he listens.
Cusack listens. Cusack listens. He's outside right now.
Jerking off in the rain.
No, it's not raining.
Tomas is spraying the hose at him.
The sprinklers are going, and he's not. John, if you're listening, of course we know you're not doing that. John,
Absolutely not.
Get off the shrubs.
But hold on, how did you get into the underwater porn thing? Like, what took your mind there?
I don't know. I can't remember what we were talking about, but we were talking about something.
Our question, it came, I don't know where it came from, but it ended with, is that possibly a thing?
Oh,
and
yeah.
then
Everything's a thing. That's what's so alarming.
Yeah, I think that's one of the awful things about the internet, that because everyone's not shaming everyone else, you go, actually, you know what? Here's some things that are fucking shameful, and just because you found some other people that like to do it too,
Doesn't make it right.
It's fucking still
Yeah.
wrong. It's still wrong. Hey, Nambla, you're fucking wrong. It's awful. It's not okay. Do you know what I mean? And it's like I think that's the weird thing about the internet, that people find other people that like to do what they do.
Or believe what they believe, and
Right.
it becomes
Right.
facts.
Yes, and then it
It's
becomes
strange.
a valid point of view.
But have you ever seen that BBC, I think it was BBC anyway, that did a documentary about phobias? And they talk about these strange phobias that people have. So people
I
have.
remember hearing something about that.
There's one in particular that sticks in my brain about a woman who has got a phobia about frozen peas. Now, it sounds like a joke, right?
Right.
Like, how can somebody have a phobia about
Yeah.
frozen peas? But she'd go into any kind of shop where there might be frozen peas, and she would, like, lose her mind. Or there was a woman who was scared of her, like, had a phobia about her own kneecaps and things like that. I mean, really freaky
It feels
stuff
like
out there.
I feel like that's a kind of a crossed wire somewhere. Like a good bit of therapy would get rid of
I
that.
think you could be
Yeah,
right.
like you're not frightened of peas. Let's talk about the leprechaun's test.
Well, the connection, there must be some awful connection with frozen peas.
Usually there is. Well, but there's also the idea of there being one cause, which I like at first, the idea of, like, if you can only, that there is a school of therapeutic thought that thinks if you can trace it back to one traumatic event, that's the thing that caused
yeah,
it.
the cure-all.
Yeah, I don't know how often that happens. I believe it happens, but I don't think it's always the case.
No, of course not.
And I think, because I was trying to think, because people they often say to alcoholics, particularly sober ones, how much did you actually drink? I'm like, I have no fucking idea. I wasn't keeping a journal. And then the people say, when did you reach rock bottom? And you go, well, probably how many times did I reach rock bottom is probably a better. And even then, I wasn't keeping a journal. And the whole idea of, this is a great one. When did you realize you'd made it in show business?
I think that is quite a good one. I might have asked you that question.
Well, but I'm asking you.
Oh, you're asking me?
Yeah. When
but I'm asking you. I asked first.
You didn't. But
No.
okay. I would say that I think that's an unanswerable question. Because if you think you've made it in show business, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
You don't know anything about show business. And because it can all go away tomorrow.
Of course, like anything can.
It's like when people say, how did you, like when I used to be terrified of flying.
No, but hold on.
No, there's a thing here.
Okay.
I swear to God. And then I took flying lessons to face the fear of flying, right? And people would say, when did you realize, at what moment did you conquer your fear? I'm like, I haven't. You don't conquer fear. Like, conquering fear is like saying, so you've conquered hunger. I'm like, no, it just comes up. It happens.
Yeah, but when you first did the late show for the first time,
Yeah.
you must have had some kind of weird feeling or
Yeah, I was-
thought
yeah, I
or
was
like,
frightened. Yeah, I was
oh
nervous.
my God.
Adrenal, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but there must be more than that. I mean, that is like you're reaching so many people. And particularly then, I think it's different now. TV is a different role in a funny way than it
that's
was
true,
then.
yeah,
But
yeah.
back then, TV, we were all watching,
I know.
everyone was watching TV.
Well, now you're making me nervous. I'm glad it's over.
Well, yeah, I bet.
But
But that first night, you must have had some crazy thoughts and ideas about yourself and your career, surely.
actually, yeah, I mean, a little bit. What I did that day, I remember, is I went for a very long run. I was exhausted.
After doing it.
Yeah, I was exhausted going for the long run.
Yeah.
So by the time I got to the studio to do the show, I was just fucking tired.
Pooped.
Yeah. And that's what I did that on purpose because I just didn't want to.
Think about it.
Yeah, I just want to deal with it.
But you still must have thought about it.
Well, when do you relax? Like when you're standing in front of an audience and you've got a fucking rock band churning behind you, and I know what that's like. It's like a fucking
rocket.
It is. It's unbelievable sensation of a great band fucking churning behind you. What do you feel like when that's happening?
I feel like Superwoman, Wonder Woman. I feel like Wonder Woman.
Right. Well, that's what I feel like when I'm doing stand-up.
Yeah.
I feel like Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm seriously like when you've got the band cranking, like the band can actually be the band, or the band's in your head.
In your head.
But when the band are cranking, there's just no fucking feeling on earth like it.
Yeah, no, it's an
Nothing
incredible
like
feeling.
it.
Incredible feeling.
Unbelievable.
Well, what's the best feeling? It's not so much that, but it's when you know you're doing it good.
Yeah.
That's the best feeling.
Well, yeah,
because there's nothing worse than when you're out there and for some reason can't find your
groove.
Your groove. For lack of a better word.
I know, and it happens doing stand up too.
Yeah, I'll bet.
Like I can't connect with them, and then you'll talk to people afterwards and say, "Oh, it was the greatest show,"
Yeah, of course they don't always pick up on the nuances that you are obsessed by.
Or if it's funny. Leno said an interesting thing to me, and Leno is, I don't know. No matter what you think of him, see him live because he's an amazing stand-up. But Leno said one thing I was talking to Joe about doing stand-up. It's like because stand-up comedians, especially when they're starting out, they're always obsessed by remembering their material. And he's like,
must be horrible.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Leno said, they don't know the fucking jokes. Just say anything you like. They don't know what you're going to say.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Of course.
Just say what you like. Just as long as it's funny, just keep talking. And it's like that whole... I think sometimes... Like in life, you can do that. Oh, this radio show. Oh, this album. Oh, this thing. Oh, this gig. It's so important to me. And everyone's going to see my shame or my mistake. And it's like... Nobody's really...
No, people are oblivious to it.
Nobody's really looking.
They just want you to make them laugh.
Yeah, just make us laugh, pal. And
but who was the first comedian you ever saw?
Billy.
Oh, God, a great one.
Billy.
Yeah, well, it says it all.
Billy Connolly is, I think for our generation, not just as a comedian, he's Jackie Robinson. He's the game changer.
Yeah.
He's like... It all changes with Billy.
Yeah.
All art in Scotland became classless when Billy Connolly started doing stand-up comedian. All art, not just the music and painting and sculpture and everything. The class system got a kick in the nuts it had never received until Billy started doing stand-up
Well, I guess
comedy.
that's what's so powerful about comedy, though, is that it can cut through stuff that nothing else can. Even music, in a way, doesn't quite have the same... Because there's something about, when a band does really well and they sell a ticket and everyone comes to the audience, there's still, we're on a stage and everyone else is forced into standing down low, and it's this weird psychological thing where I think audiences feel a little separate. We don't necessarily feel separate, but
Right.
they do. Whereas with comedy, I think everyone, any comic show that I've been in, it's so palpable how everyone feels like you're just the comedian is just them, where you're in a pub or you're on the same level.
That's
and
what
so
it's-
you can
that's
talk
what
about so many important things.
Well, the musicians are demigods. So when you go and see a musician, you're revered. They're playing the songs we know. They are who.
Sometimes.
Yeah, but that's the idea.
Yeah.
When you're a rock star and it's working, that's what it is. You're a rock star. You're a demigod. You're an object of veneration and admiration. If a comedian is that, it won't
Doesn't work,
It
yeah.
won't work. you have to see like the best comic, like the best comic working now. I think is Dave Chappelle. I think he's,
without a
he's
doubt.
at the peak of his powers. And if you see him in a large room, he'll make the room feel like it's just you and some
Tiny,
other people.
yeah.
And that's the job. That's the no matter the venue. That's why, paradoxically, because comedians do have egos. It seems strange to say it, but they.
You think that's strange? See, I think that's a given. That,
No, I've been facetious, but
Okay.
I think, but they like to play large venues. But I think the largest venue I've done in stand-up was Radio City, 6,500.
It's pretty large, yeah.
It's too big.
Yeah.
I didn't like it. It was too
I know
big.
exactly. I feel the same way about playing music in large halls. I
Yeah,
don't like it.
it's too big.
I like the old school theatre.
About 2 at most.
Yes, at most.
Yeah.
I like 1,200 myself.
Yeah. Between 1 and 2.
We're
that's
getting
fine.
weird now.
No, but that's what it is. I think that's what it has to be, a manageable size. And I think sometimes to play giant, you lose the connection. It gets a little greedy.
So, are you going on another?
Yeah, I'll tour.
Go
it.
around?
Yeah, I'll
When?
do it, probably next year. I wanted to take some time off. I had this big tour planned, and then Liam, who made you your paper airplane, asked me not to go.
Wow.
So I cancelled it all. It was a world tour. We had hats and T-shirts and shit.
Oh.
And I was like, I can't go. Because he really asked me not to
Right.
go. I mean, it wasn't just
Yeah, it wasn't just a tantrum.
No, he was very clear on.
Needed you around.
Yeah. And I was like, okay, it's fine. There'll be other tours.
Yeah.
And everyone was very
Liam
angry.
will grow up and want you to get the hell out of.
Oh, I think he
Dodge.
actually said to me a couple of weeks ago,
I made a big mistake, Dad.
You can go now. when I was trying to stop him playing The Legend of Zelda, he's like, you can
Amazing,
go on
yeah.
tour.
I'm ready for you to go now, Dad.
Yeah.
Thanks. Cheers.
Who makes you laugh? What comedians make you laugh?
Oh, God. I am obsessed with Julianne Dreyfus, I guess.
Right.
She makes me laugh. Like, Veep is arguably my most favourite comedy show of all time.
She was here.
Just this week.
Yeah,
Was she?
Yeah.
Yeah, last Wednesday.
We should set up a girls' afternoon.
No, I'd be very
Julia
intimidated, I
Louis-Dreyfus,
think.
Cara Cooney, and Shirley Manson, lead singer of Egyptology.
Yes, they'll love you because of the Egyptology
That is
album,
funny.
probably. Yeah.
But I love Amy Schumer, actually.
Mm-hmm.
I like the women, but I also love the greats. Like, I love Chris Rock, actually. I love
Mm-hmm.
Dave Chappelle. And, I mean, there's a whole host.
What about
of-
Scottish comedians? You know,
Yeah,
Scottish
any,
comedians
besides
you like?
Billy
I don't
Connolly,
really know many Scottish
Neither
ones.
do I, really. Yeah.
Billy Connolly, of course, was huge. I
Yeah.
mean, he was the first comedian I ever saw. I
Me
didn't
too,
even know
yeah.
what a comedian really was.
I thought it was just like fat English guys on TV.
Yeah, who made disgusting racist jokes all
Yeah,
the time.
kind of.
Wasn't even remotely funny.
Although Morecambe and Wise, I liked.
Yeah, I liked
Morecambe
Morecambe and Wise.
And the Pythons were amazing.
You see that? For some reason, I just didn't understand that at the age I was exposed to it. I bet you if I went back now, I'd love it.
Yeah.
But everyone at school was going on about, it's so this, it's so that, and I wasn't allowed to watch it, really,
Yeah.
for whatever reason.
Yes.
And then when I finally did see it, it felt like a bit sort of like, it's not really that funny. I love Michael Palin, though.
For me, it's Eric. I've always been Eric. Every got to choose your favourite Python. Mine is Eric Idle.
Yeah, well, that's a good choice.
Yeah. He also lives just round the corner.
Does he really?
Yeah. Have you never met Eric?
No.
Oh, you have to meet
Oh
Eric.
my God. He's going to have to come then for
He's
with Julianne
delightful. He's
Dreyfus.
got a
And
sore
who else are
foot
we gonna-
right now, I think, Eric.
Yeah, he broke his foot. I
Yeah.
think.
I think.
Oof.
Yeah, that's very sexy. Are we out of time?
We are.
Oh.
No!
I'm sorry.
I'm not leaving.
I looked up Scottish rap if we want something to listen to on the way out. Is it Shogun, the song Vulcan? Should we listen?
Yeah, let's listen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Aye.
Fuck your weak views. Take 2 minutes to peer from my optics. I'm feeling like making a killing.
Oh, wait.
No, that's-
It's masculine like Paul Potts for the profit. No religious affiliation, man, stop it. Half tall grey, half modest.
A little bit of the
Doesn't
accent
sound very
there.
Scottish to me.
I know.
Once I drop this in the stove and I want the slogan, you
No, I can hear it.
I can hear it a wee bit, but he sounds English.
Oh, good luck in the Scottish press in the next couple of days. Shirley Manson, lead singer of Egyptology. All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Thank you, Malibu Joe, of course, is here every day. But mostly,
Oh, man.
Most of all, me.
most
Yes.
of all, you, Shirley Manson.
Bestow thanks upon me.
But we are worshipping you like the goddess of rock. The beautiful, shimmering beacon of the liberating sound of rock and roll music.
Good Lord. It's always a pleasure. You know that. you know, I'd be here in a hop, skip, and a jump.
Right. Well, we'll just make this a regular thing then.
If any of your guests cancel, you know I'm just 5 minutes down the road.
They've all cancelled. Bye-bye, everybody.
Goodbye, haulers.
And there you have it. It's the end of the show.
Son of a bitch! God likes me! I am the best!
It's the end of the show, motherfucker!
Fuck every